Are you in search of a pharmacy for all your medical needs? Check out my guy Jason Hu's Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding, located at 337 US 46 Rockaway, New Jersey, zip code 07866, serving all of New York and New Jersey. They specialize in compounding sildenafil for male erectile dysfunction, as well as semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. They come to you with an amazing delivery service, so don't worry about having to come in person. Once again, check out Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding in Rockaway, New Jersey by my guy Jason Hu was the first guy to buy my merch. You can call them at 973-559-7979. That's 973-559-7979. Proud partner of the DJ Sports Show.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton, DJ Sports Show. If you guys watch on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe, listen to Arnie Pops Arnie, leave a 5-star rating, and share anybody you know who loves sports. I got the fellas here with me today. I got Phil Wilson, the Wilson Way Sports Network. I got Armani Jackson from California. I got Dylan Buchan from Meet the Hobby wearing a big Baller brand hoodie that you can barely see on the screen. And we got Phil, welcome to Washington Commanders down in Maryland, you know? How we doing, fellas?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, I know it's NFL Sunday, but NBA season's quickly and rapidly approaching. We're going to go over our Western Conference preview today, and then next time we'll do the Eastern Conference. So the first team we're going to do is the Utah Jazz, 31-51 last year, 12th in the West. So some key offseason points. They re-signed Lauri Markkanen into a 5-year, $238 million extension. That's quiet trade rumors for him this season. They also drafted Kyle Filipowski, Isaiah Collier, and Cody Williams. They signed Patty Mills to a 1-year vet minimum and Johnny Juzang as well. They waived Kenny Lofton, Darius Baisley, and Amar Yurtsevin. And one question I have for them is, can Keontae George take that next leap? Like, what do you guys feel like the Utah Jazz can do this season?
Utah, bro. The thing about Utah, bro, the West is so stacked that they're one of the few teams that we know are not making the playoffs to play in. Like, we ain't worried about them having any kind of noise. So it's just play development, which it's not a bad thing in their case because they shouldn't be thinking about playoffs. If you're thinking playoffs, then you're thinking the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, focus on building what you have. You know, Keontae George having to develop, and then see what you got from there with your young pieces. But they're one of the few teams in the West that we know for sure I'm making any kind of noise for a playoff run. I wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're a straight shooter.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, ain't nobody thinking about them. You can play some jazz music. I mean, ain't nobody playing. Yeah. I like the genre, but you're not thinking about the basketball team. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man.
Nah, Lauri Markkanen, I mean, he is one of the best star forwards in the league. He shot 40%.
I like his game too,
last year. He averaged over 23 points per game. But Will Hardy's one of the best young coaches in the league, but they just don't really have the pieces to be a true contender. And Keontae George, right. I think he's a bucket, but I want to see him take that next step. And then I know they had Taylor Hendricks, who was a versatile forward they drafted a few years ago. He's versatile. He can guard multiple positions. I want to see what step he's going to have an increased role. But, yeah, they're not really to contend right now. And, honestly, I think they should try to tank the 2025 season, you know, try to get one of the top players next year. But, yeah, I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, I think it'd be wise for them to tank for either Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper. But overall, I think, speaking of Duke, I like the Kyle Filipowski pickup because I do feel like with the big man duo of Kessler and Markkanen, you can create some defensive mismatches if you put Filipowski out there with Markkanen because he can defend the basket, but he can also space the floor. And that will open things up for Keontae George on the perimeter, and they're hoping he really takes that next step up. I do believe he has that type of talent. I actually talked about this on stream a couple of days ago, but a co-host and I, we were talking about Keontae. There's a lot of similarities in his game to Donovan. So if they can get that kind of production out of him, that puts them in a better position moving forward as they're figuring out everybody else in the roster.
Yeah, he said he think Keontae is like Donovan Mitchell. I don't know about that, man. Yeah,
it's all wise.
Yeah, because Donovan Mitchell had one hell of a rookie season though. Because Keontae had a solid rookie season, but
bro. Yeah, I'm not. But I'm saying as far as like the way he plays and like the spots he attacks on the court, it has shades and it's very reminiscent of Donovan.
Yeah,
like Not when he was young though, when his shot wasn't as like developed,
Yeah,
and he was just a super stud athlete, but he was able to get to point A, point B in like a 2 second span. I see a lot of traces in that in watching Keontae George. So
yeah,
I think he could be their guy on the perimeter. I do also feel like they're they are missing some significant pieces, and defensively they can't guard, they
yeah.
can't guard a corpse out there. So that's something that they also have.
Yeah, defensively and rebounding wise, they're definitely going to struggle. I know Filipowski, with marketing going on the bench, he could definitely fill in, be a stretch four for them coming off the bench. He's a rookie, so I'm not expecting too much from him. But they do have Walker Kessler on that back line, who's one of the best rim protectors in the league. I think he's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate
Yeah, for
down the
sure.
line. I don't know if he's ever going to get one because Wemby's in the league, Evan Mobley. But he's been, ever since he came into the league, he's been one of the better shot blockers.
Got great potential. I think ultimately, and I talked about this on stream too. But I don't think that the classic big man. I don't believe that the classic big man is out there. I think that there still are recognizing the value of the big man that is a physical presence and that can make a player be like, you know what, I was gonna drive to the hoop, but let me make the smart business decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that kind of big man is still out there. Walker Kessler is definitely one.
Yeah. So where we all have the Utah Jazz finishing this season, lottery or
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely
they're
not.
probably gonna end up as a lottery team. I think for them too, something that they could do, they still got Jordan Clarkson on that roster, and then they got John Collins. If they're really trying to tank up this team, I feel like they should try to trade those pieces and get some more draft capital. It honestly depends how they compete, because obviously, these younger teams, they start off pretty hot and get a lot of momentum, but once you get in that middle stretch of the season, they start to kind of wear off or go down. But I think by the time trade deadline comes, they need to consider, letting go of Jordan Clarkson for sure, because they could get a lot of capital out of him. A lot of other contending teams would love to have him as a six man. Um, but even just in summer league, I went this past year in Vegas with my girlfriend, and we literally got to see, George was there, Hendricks was there, Filipowski was there, and then they also had Cody Williams, kind of a sleeper guy. I really think Cody Williams could be a good wing player for them. But it's going to take some development time, because Cody Williams, the way he plays, is more like a setup shooter type of guy. Coming off the catch, coming off the pin down screen. It's going to be a lot of development for like those guys to make the younger guys. Seen Collier play at USC. He's pretty, a very physical guy. Could get to the paint and all that stuff. But it's going to rely ultimately on how they're going to play on the, do they want to tank or get better draft capital going into next year, or do you want to try to contend and be like a mid-tier lottery? So I would say lottery for sure, though.
Yeah. And they have Cody Williams, who's a versatile forward who can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a master of anything, but he's one of those jack of all trades guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it could be a good utility for them down the line.
Well, Collier, I'm glad you brought up Isaiah Collier, because people forget that he was the top player of his
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
believe that ultimately the fanfare of Bronny being at USC distracted from the fact that actually he had a very good freshman year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't set the world on fire like people were kind of anticipating, given that number one player status. But
Yeah, for sure.
I do believe he showed that he had transmittable NBA skills, and in my opinion, I think he's going to be a better pro player than college player.
Yeah, for sure. And then too, you got to think about at USC, like you said, they had Bronny, and then they also had two other guards that were in that backcourt with them. They didn't run like a 2 guard and then a 4. They ran 3 guard lineup rotation, and then you had Bronny coming off the bench. So a lot of opportunities for Collier weren't really coming, because they had Boogie on that team, and then they also had Kobe Johnson as well. So it was kind of a hindering point for him to be able to dish the ball out playing guard, and then also too trying to be in a crowded backcourt. It's always tough trying to, when you have 2 dominant or 3 dominant ball handlers, like it can become very tight when it comes to opportunities.
Yeah. Yo, Dylan, your phone's making a real choppy sound. I don't know why. Yeah, I keep hearing it. But yeah, no, you got some good points there. So next we got the Portland Trailblazers. Yeah, y'all talking about a team in the lottery. I think this is definitely a team that we see being in the
Yeah.
lottery this season. The Toronto Trailblazers 21-61 last year, last in the West. Entering their second year of the post-game rebuild after trading away Damian Lillard last year. They have Scoot and Shaden as their backcourt, who both struggled with injuries last year and productivity last season. They drafted Donovan Clingan out of UConn, who provide elite rim protection and defensive anchor alongside DeAndre Ayton. And they have Robert Williams. Now, can Robert Williams stay healthy? I know Celtics fan over here.
Yeah.
That's the question, man. This guy, he's had 3 knee surgeries throughout his career, and he's been limited to just 6 games last year. So that's the question. Like, can he stay healthy? And then I'm glad they drafted Clingan because that's what Williams pretty much he does. He protects the rim. He's a lob threat, things of that nature. Clingan, he's a guy who hasn't had any injury history that we know of. And Williams hasn't been the guy who'd be reliable on the court, so they kind of filled in his role because that's what they want him to be. But now they got that guy in the draft because now, that's backup insurance for them right there.
I think Rob Will, when healthy, is a top 3 defensive big in the league.
I agree.
And the impact that he provides, it goes beyond just the stat. You know what I'm saying? He plays way above his size, physical. He doesn't need the ball much, so there's no worry about like, oh, I'm not getting my touches. Like he just wants to make the winning play. It's kind of this is crazy. This is very crazy. And take what I say with a grain of salt, just like with the Deontay George thing. But there are shades of Ben Wallace in this game. If I could
Wait, who?
Huh?
Ben Wallace.
What do you see, bro? No, I'm just kidding.
Who's Ben Wallace? Who has shades of Ben Wallace?
There's some shades of Ben Wallace in his game. Undersized, strong, athletic, great defender, great athlete. No jumper to speak of. No offensive game.
Yeah.
But as far as the above the rim ability and the ability to impact the game defensively, I mean, when Rob Will was healthy, we made a finals run. We almost made another finals run. And you can't hit a 15-foot jumper, but the impact that he plays is so key because he would have teams, speculating on, again, do I go to the basket or do I settle for this jumper? And then also he's a lob threat, so you got to watch for him running, running across, getting a putback. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like he is Ben Wallace because Ben Wallace did lead a great Pistons team to a
He's been 4 defensive players of the year.
Yeah,
He's tied first all time. We're talking about. I'm saying.
I'm saying there are shades of him in his game. As far as like a player that there's some like comparable ability to. So he's okay. Let's put it this way.
Can a brother play more than 65 games in a season? He's never done that in his career, bro. He's or 2 days ago. Like,
he's store brand Ben Wallace.
Hey, nah, you're crazy.
The potential to be more. He's young. I think people fail to recognize that. He's got a lot of injuries, but he's young. So I think if he can put it together this year, I think that will be a difference maker for them. I actually personally I'm very high on the Trailblazers. I think they're a sleeper team.
So, are we hearing potential playing team? Potential?
Playing? Ooh.
They're my sleeper dark horse team because I think Shaden Sharp is going to be their alpha, but I think Anthony Simons right now
He a dog.
is just a dog. I think he's settling perfectly into that number 1 role. I also think that with Scoot, I think Scoot
He needs to get more efficient. He shot 38.5% from the field last year.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He's a great, phenomenal passer, and the more he just continues to utilize that hyper athletic ability of his while he develops his jumper. But if he takes more smart shots at the rim, I think they have a very underrated team. Now, are they going to go far? No, but I think they could be a playing team, and I think that Chauncey I know, Armani feels differently, but I do. I still think that Chauncey can be their proper coach. I think he, especially with his own legacy player, I think he can be a good influence on reestablishing and rebuilding the culture over there.
Yeah, I just want to see Scoot how I don't want to see him so apprehensive on the court. He's been last year. He's looked a little bit kind of scared to like use his speed and athleticism and try to finish at the rim. Like, but when he was in the G League, he was a dog. He was going at guys, dunking on guys. He was using his ferocity, and that's what I want to see. I want to see him get back to. I know he had the vision issues where he had to wear the goggles. I was like, oh damn, I didn't even know he had vision issues until last year. But I want to see him get back to being the aggressive Scoot that we saw when he was in high school, college, and when he was killing guys at 17, 18 years old. I was like, who is this guy? Looking like a mini
Scoot
Jim
Henderson
Rose.
was nice coming out.
Yeah,
He just gotta play confident.
yeah,
It's confidence.
And I
And
want to
in the G, he had the ball. He was confident. You know what I'm saying? And that's to me is my biggest point for the Blazers. Obviously you got Anthony, who's a dog. You got Shannon Sharp. You got Malcolm Brogdon. You got a lot of guards. I want to know if Scoot in the best case scenario, what role does he play in that Blazers team as far as guard play? Is he coming off the bench? Could he become a starter? I think if you got a really good team and you drafted him that high, he's going to be a dude who's going to need to be big time. So I'm thinking next Anthony Simons, he ain't got to be the best player, but like I wanted to see what role he can have in that team to really really be a team that can make some kind of play and run. Let's say best case scenario, at least in my case. That's what I want to see.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this year is more of a see what you have, your foundation. Because obviously you guys are going to be in the lottery, and it's a strong draft. See what pieces you have that you could have moving forward to really build the team. I think it's another rebuild year. See what you have going forward. Probably get some trade assets, trade some guys, get some veterans on the team, and then you're going to get a top pick in next year's draft. You're either going to get Cooper, Ace, somebody like that. You need a wing. I don't think you need a guard. You guys have enough guards. Next year you have some really good wings at the top of the draft. So that's what I'm talking
Cooper
about.
going crazy in that team.
Yeah.
I would pose this as a question too, because Armani brought this up with the Jazz when it comes to John Collins and Jordan Clarkson. Do you think DeAndre Ayton and Jeremy Grant will be traded at some point in the year for draft capital?
I can see it.
Jeremy Grant. I think Jeremy Grant will get. If anybody would, I think Jeremy Grant would be the one primarily because of
The age.
need for the age and also to the contract. At the same time, too, Jeremy Grant he's a very versatile player. I don't see Jeremy Grant kind of fitting in with this rebuild that the Trailblazers are trying to go through. Obviously, it was a hard trade to try to make happen for him because of the contract that he has, and they got on that extension. He was locked in on the team prior to Dame leaving. But I think if anybody was to leave first, it would probably be Jeremy Grant. Aiden, I feel like could be a very strong piece for this team, but it's just he's not hitting that peak bar that we've seen glimpses of when he was on the Suns. I don't know if it's because guards aren't setting him up in a better position. I didn't really follow him as much, but looking at Jeremy Grant's side, I know that's a piece that contending teams want to have on the team. The small forward, power forward position, he's very versatile. Basically, guard 1 through 5 if he really has to. But I think for Aiden, though, more so than anything, if he can make that big leap into this coming year, and make some noise and prove why he was a top draft pick at one point in time, they could keep him. But it's just a matter of how he plays and how he fits in that system. With Simons, you got Henderson, you got Shaden Sharp. They're pretty guard heavy. There's a lot of talent in that backcourt, but there's some opportunities for Aiden to kind of thrive if all the attention's getting levitated onto those guards. So we'll see.
Yeah. Dylan, is your speaker still on? I still hear the noise. Your speaker on or something?
Do you hear anything?
I hear it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like
maybe. I have the game on my computer, but I have the volume off. Was it that?
Yeah, I just hear a sound that keeps going something like that. Yeah.
What about now?
Well, right now we're good. But yeah, Armani, your point. That was
I'm holding my phone. It's all good though. Let me keep this plugged in. But yeah, I think and it's funny, Armani, because Aiden was the number 1 player of our graduating class.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, bro. I think he used to call. He made himself dominating, bro. I'm like, Yo, when he was at
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, 2018 draft, I thought that was going to be the draft bringing back the big man, bro. You had Ayton, Bamba,
I did
Bagley.
too.
I was like, and then you had AD in the league. Giannis was
What?
starting to get to
Bro,
be
I was
honest.
so
The
hype
big man was
on both
coming
of them.
back.
Those
All
bigs
talent
that
in the
year
league.
was
Porzingis, I was like, we have this draft coming in. I was like, oh snap, we got the '90s coming back.
yeah.
But Bagley didn't live up to it. Bamba, he's only famous for the damn song by Sheck West. And then, no, I was a senior in high school that year when that song came out. That's the only thing he's known for. And then he's on the Clippers now, which we'll get into later because they're a mess.
He's still in the league, God. Okay.
Yeah.
I think, but yeah. So I don't know. I guess because I want to see the big man come back. I'm still holding out hope for DeAndre Ayton to put together, but
Yeah.
I think the issue with him is like, his body language. I don't like his body language on the court.
He plays.
He get real pouty, bro. He get real pouty when he'll get his way.
Yeah, and he's got all the talent in the world. Like he's got height, athleticism, defensive ability. He can shoot.
Frame.
He literally like if you could build a perfect big man, like you would in the modern day time, you would come out with DeAndre Ayton, and I remember he was being compared to David Robinson.
Yep.
And David Robinson was seen as like in his day the perfect big man build. So it's like the expectation for him, and given how he's played, he's had his moments. I think he was a big part of that 2021 team that went to the finals against the Bucks.
Yeah.
But he hasn't put it together. And I don't know if it was DJ or Armani who said like him not having that point guard to set him up. I think that also plays a role. But I think if I'm Chauncey and I'm knowing I have a player like who still hasn't even reached his ceiling, like I want to see what he can do.
He's
for the
young.
first part.
He's 26. He's 26 today.
Yeah.
Like he's just entering like his prime years, where he's like in the early years. So they just need to get the fire out of him more consistently. That's the one thing that we were questioning DeAndre. He's never about his talent; it's about his edge and his attitude.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching
20 and 10 be the peak. 20 and 10, bro.
Yeah,
why not?
Saying, like,
be the peak.
He could put up 20 and 10
easily, bro. Easily.
Yeah. You number overall pick, 20 and 10.
I want to see my class of 17 brother do well, man. I like, damn it, we need somebody in the league holding it down for us.
I'm just like, there's no reason with his skill and talent he should not be one of the 6 best big men in the league. There's just no reason.
Absolutely.
Right.
It is,
and he hasn't had like injury set him back or anything either. So, all right, next we got the Houston Rockets, gentlemen. Still, we have a problem.
I'm high on the Rockets, man. I'm
about to say I'm high on them too, bro.
I'm very high on them.
41 last season. They took a big jump last year. 11th in the West. They could have easily made the play-in, but I think they're going to definitely make some noise this year. So they drafted Reece Shepard, 3rd overall out of Kentucky, who I think he killed it. You saw him up close, Armani, at Las Vegas.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a solid rotational piece for them. Like, he can create off the dribble. He can spread the floor. I think he's going to be a little bit of a defensive liability because he's kind of small. He's 6'2", and he plays shooting guard. So I think that's going to hurt him. But offensively, I think he's going to contribute right away. Can Jalen Green build upon his second half surge he had? After the All-Star break, he averaged nearly 23 points per game, shot 46% from the field, and 37% from 3. But he did that without Alfred Sengun, who was out injured. Can he do that with Alfred Sengun being inserted back into the lineup? That is the question for them. They're the team below the luxury tax, and they have maximum cap space entering next summer. And next summer's free agent market, you got Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, and now it's Caruso to name just a few guys on the market next year. So next year,
I'm sorry, Caruso. With those names.
Who's the veteran off the bench who elite perimeter defender? They can use that. And this is a team that struggled rebounding and with their efficiency offensively last year. And then you also have Steven Adams just coming back off knee injury. So he's going to help them defensively in the interior and rebounding wise. So that's what they lack last year. They don't have a rim protector. They need someone strong down there who can make guards think twice about wanting to go into the lane. Now they insert Adams there. And I want to see what they do. Do they have Sengun playing the 4 and put Adams at the 5? Or do they want to slowly integrate Adams back in because he's coming off a knee injury? I think he tore his meniscus, and that's what kept him out. So
that's what was Achilles, something like that. But not, bro. For the Rockets, I remember last year they won that crazy run. Remember after he had that baby with Drea, Jalen Green, he was hooping.
Yeah, that man was
having
a good time.
It was like a 10-11 game win streak. It'll set you up. They was on the 11th seed still a dime. Remember, the Warriors had the 10 seed, the Rockets were the 11th seed. I thought Rockets could have made a run and beat out the Warriors for that 10 seed spot, but then they played them. The Rockets laid an egg. So my thing is now, can you learn from that experience? Take advantage of that and then beat them. Because that basically decided who won that 10 seed, that 10th playing spot. So like, can you have your guys be big in big moments, like that to get to a play-in or playoff run, something like that.
I agree. To that point, Phil, I think that second half surge by Jalen Green. I don't know what.
My man had that baby.
He was playing with a different edge, though. I was like, this is
Jalen Green.
Yeah. I'm like, this is what had people calling you Blazing Kobe. Like, this is what we've been wanting to see.
He was going crazy.
He was balling, but I do think their team, because you got to also remember they got Amin Thompson back there. They also got Cam Whitmore. They have a good problem to have, which is they have so much young depth, but they just have to figure out where everyone fits in. Do you put Shepherd at the point? You put Thompson at the point? Because Thompson, I like what I saw out of Thompson at the point guard spot. And with his height, that creates mismatches out there. But then does Cam Whitmore get so it's a good spot to be in, but they do need to figure out because when ball starts to get serious, all-star breaking on, that's when you need to have your lineups figured out. That way when you're going into playoffs, you know how you're setting up your rotation. And I think the player that I feel like has not gotten much attention this offseason, but who I'm very excited to see how he does, is Jabari Smith. I think Jabari Smith is due for a leap this year. I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's learning to take a lot smarter shots. And just remember, like, dude, you're 6'10", 6'11". Like, that's
play like it. Play like it.
Play like it. Yeah, like, stop thinking you're 6'3". You're 6'10", 6'11". It's great that you have a jump shot. It's great that you can shoot space to floor. Do not lose that. But, at the same time, take advantage of those mismatches when they come, because there's not many small forwards who are his height with his athleticism. So him out there on the perimeter, I think that creates a lot of good defensive matchups, and then he can play defense as well. So, and one thing with a Ime Udoka coach team is that they're going to play defense. They were better last year defensively, statistically, than offensively, despite all the young players that they have that can go out there and get a bucket. So I'm very high on them. The owner just came out a couple days ago and said he thinks they have the deepest team in the NBA. Now, I don't know about all that now.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. You got to get through my boys up in Beantown. But they have they have built great ever since the James Harden trade. I think they are a perfect example of how to properly build a team after you've lost a superstar player.
Yeah, they've done a great job.
And I think they're going to the playoffs this year. I don't even think it's an if. I think they're.
Oh yeah.
For me, it just depends on Jalen Green. It's a big year for him. Like, they didn't give him the contract extension. Remember that they want to see if he can be consistent. They're like, is that second half of or are you really that dude? Because you were drafted second overall.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you really an all-star caliber player or blazing Kobe, like Dylan says? Are you that guy? Or are you guy who, you just had a hot little streak for a while and you're really not a franchise cornerstone we could build off of? So that's what I need to see.
Help him out. Get another baby. Help him out.
Hey, are you that guy? Are you that guy that had a kid with Dre? Or are you that guy that was in that video with Josh Christopher? I'm sorry, I can't let that go.
I wasn't gonna say nothing about that.
I can't let that go, man. I'm sorry. Like,
that was funny, bro.
That was one of the saddest things I've ever witnessed in my life. I said,
They said,
what happened to?
You gotta go, bro.
Yeah, I was like, what happened to Madden tournaments or slapboxing at like AU? Like, this is what these kids do nowadays?
Hey, he's playing that new Diddy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Take that.
Man, I'm trying to be like Puff. Like,
but no Diddy, man. Like, chill.
Hey, all seriousness though. With Jalen Green, you're right. This is a prove-it year for him more than ever, because the intangibles are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has every skill possible to be a face of the franchise and be a face of the league. Like,
I think
I'm
he should
very
be up there
high.
with Anthony Edwards. Like, it should be him and
I
him,
think so
the next
too.
generation shooting guard in the
Should
West.
be.
What Ant is
On
doing right
paper, it
now
should
is,
be.
bro.
You know,
What Ant is
looking at
doing
that like,
right
yo, that
now.
should be me right now. Like, we should.
That's
Yo,
what.
Mhm.
Exactly. Like, that's.
He's got to
I
win.
need
He's got to
Jalen
win.
Green.
yeah.
I need Jalen
Simple.
Green to come
Good
into this
playoffs.
season guns blazing. Like, yo, I need you to. You saw all the fanfare that Ant got. That's what's expected of you. That's
See him
what
at the
everybody.
USA gold medal, getting gold medals at 23 years
Mhm.
old. Like, he's getting Jordan commercials, like making you reminisce of Jordan. Like, Jalen Green, I'm
If
using as
Ant is getting
motivation.
Jordan
Like, yo,
comparisons, then
yeah,
you better go out there and be Kobe. You better go out there and be Kobe. So
Mhm.
that's the expectation this year, and I think Coach Udoka is definitely in his ear about that. Like, yo,
yeah,
this is your team, son. Like, you need to step up, because if not,
yeah.
hey, we got other guys. We got other guys who are hungry and ready. So
Yeah.
if you don't step
A
up,
lot of young talent. We didn't even mention Tari Eason.
Yeah.
He's a
yeah,
great perimeter defender.
Sorry,
I think
he had a
he's one of
really
the best
good
defenders
rookie
in the
year for
league.
them.
Like, he got hurt last year,
Mhm.
but when he played, he was active on both ends. We didn't even mention him. Like,
No,
Yeah.
but that's
The
but
Rockets
they.
got so much they got so much wing players that literally can defend the ball really well. Like they don't. I know obviously everybody knows Dylan Brooks. You got Tari Eason. You got
Oh yeah, forgot about him.
Jabari Smith's on that team. Deshaun Tate. Cam Whitmore's a very underrated.
Oh yeah,
Cam Whitmore
Sean
has
Tate
the
as well.
opportunity to play well. He performs pretty well. Like even in summer league, like this man was literally getting the ball off and just straight shots, bro. Like being able to create his own shot. Obviously, when he's on this team, he's going to be playing a system to where he's going to be literally a spot up shooter, come off the catch and shoot. But they literally have young guys that can defend the ball. And if I feel like a priority for them needs to literally be on the defensive end, because obviously, in the West, there's a lot of competitive backcourt players that are literally skilled at scoring the ball. They're going to need to be able to defend, come down the stretch. Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Reed Shepard, like those three guards right there in itself, it's a pretty strong backcourt. I feel like a lot of people forget about Fred VanVleet, but literally he averages about like 17 points a game. Him probably going to be starting at point guard and Reed Shepard possibly come off the bench. Like that's going to be a good knowledge tool for Reed Shepard and even trying to progress and grow. The thing with Reed Shepard too, like even just being a rookie and he's undersized, but this dude literally can score the ball and create his own shot with ease.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty exciting to see how they play, for sure. Yeah. It's going to be exciting to see how they play.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet, man, great veteran leader in the locker room.
Exactly.
I know that's what this team needed. That's what they were missing. I'm glad they moved from that Kevin Porter Jr. era, because that was a mess.
Oh,
Yeah, that was ugly. That was pretty ugly. Bro.
I said this team ain't going nowhere with that. They need veterans. You know I'm right, man. They did not need all that.
That was ugly. Stuff. That was ugly, bro.
When they got rid of Kevin Porter and they said, we need veterans to really help this young group learn how to be professional. Yeah. Fred VanVleet, he's won a championship. He knows what it takes to win the league. This guy wasn't drafted, and he's made a career for himself. And he knows how to win a champion. He knows what it takes to win. And I'm glad he's in that locker room, on and off the court, to teach them how to be professionals. That's why when they got him last year, I was like, this is a team that's going to take the jump. And they had Ime Udoka coming in his first year. I said, this is a team that's going to take a leap. And they did that. And I expect them to do it again this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs this year, like Dylan said. I think
I agree.
You all agree they're going to make the playoffs?
They were close last year. They should be able to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a super hot take, but I think they're going to have an OKC level year.
Ooh, you think they're going to be
super hot?
Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Oh, we done with the hot takes today. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm not mad.
What's y'all enemy, right?
Are we browning this morning or something? Or
that's not crazy, bro.
Because Portland's gonna make the playoffs, and then like you say this.
Hey,
I'm a little crazy, but no.
I'm high on these red teams, man. But all jokes aside, all jokes aside, man, I do think you bring up a good point about Kevin Porter Jr. That was a player who I was very high on, and story for another time. But we know the same girl.
2017 number right there, right? I think I'm not mistaken.
No, he's younger than me.
He's 2018. No, he's 2019.
He knows.
I don't remember. He's 2019.
I think he's one of those two. I think.
19.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, we know the same girl though. That's really all I'm gonna say on that subject. But but basketball wise, I feel like people talk about like the phrase like too many chefs, too many cooks, and not enough like servers, and not enough not enough waiters. I think that applied with someone like Kevin Porter. I don't think that I think, and as well as Josh Christopher. I think that both of their play styles were too derivative of Jalen Green and any of the other guards that they had. And while I think both of those guys are still very talented, and I think because I know Kevin Porter's on the Clippers, and I know Josh Christopher's on the Heat. I think both teams are going to get good value out of those guys. It doesn't work when you have a player like Jalen Green. And I don't want to compare him to Kobe, but it's similar to how on paper Eddie Jones and Kobe would have seemed like the perfect duo and fit, but it just didn't work because their styles were too derivative of one another. So one thing when building a team is you have to assess, are these players, do they play too much like each other? Because if they play too much like each other, they're going to butt heads, and that's going to cause continuity issues on the court. But what they need to figure out moving forward is just their rotations, because I think that as far as starting fives go, and then when you get down to their depth, I think they are a very deep team. It all just matters about what players are being put together. But I pick them, and they're not going to be a number one seed, but I realistically think that they could be a top 5 seed in the West if everything goes well and according to plan. I think they have more than enough talent. I think they're hungry enough, and I think they want to get out the shadows of the James Harden era. So they're my pick to finish in the top 5. Nobody had the Thunder or the Timberwolves last year finishing in the top 5, so I think they're due for that kind of league.
Man, what is hot take today?
You heard it first.
What is hot take today? The next thing you know, he's going to say the Pelicans are going to win the championship.
But I'm very high on the Pelicans as far as on paper teams go. I think they
after this next team. But
perfect.
So the next team is Sacramento Kings, 46-36, 9th in the West. Team took a step back last season. 2 seasons ago, they finished top 3 in the West. They caught everybody by surprise 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
They acquired DeMar DeRozan and signed in trade that sent Harrison Barnes to the Spurs and Chris Duarte to the Bulls. They re-signed Malik Monk to a 4-year, $78 million deal. They re-signed Alex Len. They're a team that has some size down low. They have Len, they have JaVale McGee, and Orlando Robinson. Now the question is, will DeRozan play the 3 and they start Monk at the 2? Or will they have Monk come off the bench as their spark to deepen their depth on their bench? And this is a team that's great offensively, but they can't stop a cone. They were 29th in defending the 3 last season. Like, this is a team like, oh, you guys want to shoot the 3? Yeah, we'll let you. Like, yo, go ahead. Field day, Ocean. Like they don't close out on shooters, nobody. That's the thing I'm worried about with this team. They have the offense, but can they defend? Like, and I know Domantas Sabonis is he's a double-double machine, back-to-back All-NBA third-team selections. Like, and he led the league in rebounding. Like, this dude's a beast. But defensively, they're kind of, back to days ago.
Can I just say one thing as a Laker fan, though? I know one team that'll definitely be better than is my damn Lakers, because they already beat us 4-0 last year. Then they got the guy I wanted. We're going to get DeMar. Come on. We missed out on Clay. Let's get DeMar. We all good. They get due. So that's the main thing I want to say. DeMar, I'm rooting for him. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I feel he's super underrated. I think the Kings could definitely be a top 6 team. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is improvement defensively. That's all they really got to do. Offensively, you got it offensively. They had a good offensively last year. Then you had a 20-plus point per game score this year. So honestly, if you improve defensively, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm looking out for. Just be consistent on that side of the ball, and they can be one of the best teams in the league, bro. Yeah, super gonna be under the radar team though, because it's Sacramento.
Yeah, we know they have the offense. Can they defend?
Yeah.
Nobody
got to be able to guard up.
Lockdown defender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just got to be able to guard up, too, because, you have all that firepower, so you got to think about De'Aaron Fox is a pretty underrated point guard. You got DeMar DeRozan in addition. That's a 24-point per game scorer. Kevin Huerter, if he's healthy this year, he should be able to knock down solid shots for that team as well. Then I feel like Malik Monk is a very important piece to this team, and it usually is like that every time he's healthy. Monk's probably going to be coming off the bench, I would say, only because you need that firepower coming off the bench. They lost Davion Mitchell from trades. They got Devin Carter. I know he was injured during Summer League, and hopefully he can replace that Davion Mitchell type role and be an aggressive defender off the bench for them. I think Monk, though, the better decision for them right now would be to have him come off the bench because that's an extra firepower. They got Keon Ellis. He was a rookie last year. He was pretty good for them. He contributed pretty well. He didn't translate a lot on the scoring end, but just the energy and defense, hustle plays that he could contribute. It's kind of like a, not to compare him to him, but like kind of like a Jose Alvarado, like just makes impact winning plays for his team. So I think for the basis of like with Malik Monk, like a very important piece for him is going to be coming off the bench for sure. Like, I know DJ brought up that point. So they just got to find a way to be versatile, because if they got all that offensive heavy in the starting lineup, the continuity going into that bench and depth lineup, they're going to struggle. So especially in the West too. So I think they can find good out of them for sure.
Yeah. Malik, God bless you. I think Malik. I think him coming off the bench would just be. I think it makes more sense. Like Rosen and Fox are going to give you combined at least 50 points every single night. They're both 25. And Malik Monk could give you 20 to 25, especially when it gets high. I seen him score 40, and like this guy is elite, man. And I'd rather have that coming off my bench, because if you start all three of them, it's like, okay, who's coming off your bench? Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter's good, but he's not a guy who's gonna break his man down off the dribble. He's more of a coming off the screen type of guy, catch and shoot. Like you don't have a player to initiate the offense like that. So that's why I think Malik Monk coming off the bench will be the spark they need.
Remember another point, y'all. De'Aaron Fox, he didn't sign that extension. He wants to see what this team going to do. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's me, the major part of the offseason, not wanting the extension. He's like, wait a minute. I'm like, okay, I've been here a long time, been committed, you know what I'm saying, through the good, good and a lot of bad. But like, can we make that turn? You know what I'm saying? Can the Kings make that turn?
Yeah.
A lot of bad.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked he didn't make like All-Star or nothing last year. I was like, his numbers were amazing.
Yeah, he's super underrated, bro. He's my favorite players. The Lakers should have drafted him. Magic. The Lakers should have drafted him. Magic. Not Lonzo. I ain't letting that shit go. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. To play for this team too, though, is Keegan Murray, bro.
I was just about to say.
That's he's a shooter, bro. And Keegan Murray,
I'm not gonna say anything.
I went to the me and one of my coworkers, we went to the play-in game against the Warriors last year. Keegan Murray literally popped off, bro. Like, if Keegan Murray can become like a consistent shooter like that, like, and he gets green light, and Coach Brown, like, he literally trusts him. Like, he's letting him come off the screen, he's letting him shoot the ball whenever. He's a very good piece for that team that I feel like is very underrated. Everybody's talking about, Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis as the big three, but Keegan Murray is like a sleeper player. I feel like that's going to take a big jump going into even this year too as well, only because all that attention is going to be on those three players. So I would say watch out for him too, for sure.
You give me Thompson vibes, man. I'm a fan of him.
Thompson vibes.
No, that was the player, but that was the player who I was going to say, like, I feel like we are leaving him out of the discussion, and I think he is somebody that provides a lot of matchup nightmares for players, because you can't. He's going to shoot over. He's going to shoot. He can post up a smaller defender, and he can shoot over a bigger defender. Mm-hmm. So that makes it more. There's more possibilities for the Kings when they are running their offensive sets, because obviously De'Aaron and DeMar are going to have the ball majority of the time, and Sabonis too, because Sabonis as a big man provides a lot of matchup problems, because he's a big who can handle the ball, and he can play at point if need be. But I think I think overall it all goes down to defense. I was very high on Davion Mitchell as a defensive stopper player. I thought he had a chance to be like an Avery Bradley kind of guy. They just didn't, really give him a lot of opportunity after his rookie year to do that. But I think Boogie Ellis, or was it Keon Ellis?
Keon Ellis.
Keon Ellis. I think Keon Ellis has a chance to step up into that role and be that kind of defensive, stopper, energy hustle guy for them. And it's going to be those kind of players that make the biggest impact for the Kings, because when fully, everything put together, the Kings could be a top 3 team in the West. It's not a matter of they can. It's a matter of if they can and if they can play defense, because like DJ said, they can't even stop a traffic cone. So.
Yeah. It's like, y'all want an ocean? Here we go. Let you shoot the 3. Go ahead. Warm-ups, yeah. 20, We 29th in the 3. Yeah, go ahead. Hey.
Go ahead.
Every time I watch somebody
tell Grandma to come out here and
straight three, bro. They're having record nights on this team. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to go.
Not guarding the ball, bro.
What girls are doing high school, bro. Come on, man. All right, next team. It's a parade inside my city, yeah. Like, go Gators. We got the Memphis
Oh.
Grizzlies, 27-55 last season, 13 in the West. There's a team. Ja Morant was suspended last year, the first 25 games. Briefly came back, was looking amazing, like he ain't missed a beat, and then sadly hurt his shoulder while working out. It's a team that was scarred by injuries last year, not just to Morant, but also Desmond Bane, who before he got hurt, he was having probably the best time of his career. He was putting up career numbers. Like he had back issues last year and ankle issues. He could have been a borderline all-star last year if he was fully healthy.
Absolutely.
They drafted Edie, who gives them some more size, skill up front, who I think compare nicely with Jaren Jackson. Maybe you move Jackson to the 4, maybe play Edie at the 5 because the potential.
Exactly my mind.
Yep. They drafted Jalen Wells out of Washington State, who could add some shooting to their team. They re-signed Luke Kennard, so they have some spacing on the floor. And this is a team, now that the West is like, because this is a team like 2-3 seasons ago, the Lakers were better, Warriors are better, but now those teams got a little worse. The Warriors, Nuggets, the Lakers. Is this Memphis Grizzlies team, can they take that jump to be a true title contender? The Nuggets are weaker. They got worse than they were 2-3 seasons ago, Warriors and Lakers. Can they take that next step? Has Ja learned from his lessons? That's the real answer. Like, this team has the talent. They had Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane. Now you got Zach Edey, who I think is going to be a really good, solid player. Like, Armani, did you get to see Zach Edey up close and personal? I don't think.
Yeah, Zach Edey played pretty. Yeah, he was pretty dominant. I feel like Zach Edey, he's a player that you literally just put in there, and it's literally already a defensive anchor on the defensive end, and then being able to set him up with a player like you got Desmond Bane, you got Ja Morant setting them up for passes, bro. Like, it's going to be lob threat literally every single time. Then you got Jaren Jackson on the backside as well, being able to cut. If this 4 needs to get spaced out, you got GG Jackson in there. I think it's going to be good. And I feel like, too, with Edey, so much attention is going to get drawn to him just at being 7'4". He's already going to cover a lot of ground in that area. It's going to allow a lot of open opportunities for, Desmond Bane to be able to shoot threes. A lot of opportunities also, too. You just talked about, and I can't remember, Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard's a really good shooter. Very underrated shooter on that team as well. So I think this team is going to be pretty competitive going forward. I really think the most important thing that crippled them last year, and we've seen it, was health.
Yeah.
Being able to be durable. Like, Ja Morant came back, bro. I was like, oh my God. Bro.
Yeah, bro. The redemption of Ja Morant. That's on my website. Yo, I'm check it out, bro. The redemption. I was like, the redemption of Ja Morant. He was crazy in the Pelicans, bro. I was like, yo, y'all want a filet? I'm in New Orleans. I'll give y'all a filet. Like, Jackson. Yeah, he's like, yo, Zion, you're sitting. I'm coming to take this thing, man. I was like, yo, the layups he was making, the clutch floaters, like, he's a freak athlete. That's why I said since he came into the league, ever since he was in college, I said he reminds me of a mixture of Derrick Rose and Kyrie Irving, bro. His acrobatics, his ability to control his body, like D Rose and Kyrie. He has the explosiveness of D Rose, and he has a slick handle. It's like, bro, when he gets off that,
it's killer.
It's
so killer.
Yo, it reminds me of Kyrie Irving. I remember when he blocked Kyrie Irving's shot his rookie year. I said, yo, this kid's gonna be better than Kyrie. My friend thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're
if he's some kind of trouble, he could be better than Kyrie. I love Kyrie, but
health is the most important thing. I feel like health.
Bro,
for the real quick for the Grizzlies, I want to see how I just compare. Bro, for the Grizzlies, they're one of them teams that kind of remind me of the Bucks in the East. They one of them teams that, like, they're a contender, but they're a contender because of stuff that's out of their control. So stuff that's out of their control, we kind of forget about them. Like they're a team that's going to be 50+ win teams. They should be a top 4 team. Yeah. But because of stuff that out of their control that they went through, the Ja situation, injuries, people are forgetting about them. They're talking about the Thunder, talking about the Timberwolves. The Grizzlies are going to be every bit as good as them, bro. So I think for them, it's obviously Ja. Can he come back? I got him having an MVP caliber season.
Yep, me too.
I mean, that's got to be his mindset. Is come on, kill.
I had them top 5 in the West this year. They're going to be top 5 in the West right now.
Easily, I'm top 3 in the West, bro. Yeah. I'm high on the Grizzlies, man.
Yeah. I think it'll be a problem. Phil, I think they'll be top 3, 4 in the West. I mean, forget top 5. So he's like blowing. He's like, they're the top read. He said, "I'll go true."
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. Like, I don't know,
like,
man.
He can't even talk.
The talent is there. The talent is there, though. With John Morant, his ceiling is pretty high.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. I, like, because Ja is one of my favorite players class 17. You know what I'm saying? I rep and root all my guys. No, for real. Hey, Armani, stand up. Let him know.
He's the one representing class 2017, Ja, in NBA.
Because we the last 90s baby class, man. We the last, you know what I'm saying? We different. But ball wise, when it comes to the sport of basketball, Kyrie is one of the most skilled players ever.
Yeah.
I think Ja is one of the most gifted athletes ever at the point guard position.
Easily.
However, if I don't see, and I love Ja, like I own his jersey, like you know, when I could access my IG, one of my most liked pictures was me in a Ja Morant jersey.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So
John Moran, I'm on my Grizzly.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I rock
There you
with
go.
Ja. Like I've been really rocking with him for a minute. But the thing that I need to see him improve is I need to see that improvement of that mid range jumper because his landing when he goes up in the air, it's very rough. And a guy that you know we didn't mention, but who just retired, who was Derrick Rose, right?
I
Derrick
mentioned him in
Rose.
this comparison. Yep.
That was someone who was compared to Ja Morant a lot, and Derrick Rose was amazing and one of my favorite players ever. And watching him in his prime was amazing. But if he had developed the mid range jumper that he got in Minnesota and New York, and he had that when he was in Chicago and his like the prime of his athleticism, there'd be nothing stopping him.
Yeah.
And I think the same with Ja. If Ja develops his jump shot, there's nothing stopping him. It's only injuries and himself. And what people fail to take into consideration was that last year there was no personal off court stuff with Ja that happened. Like that was he just put his head down, focused, played ball, took care of his responsibilities, and that was that. And I think that this year it has to continue. You know, not saying to you know not be the dynamic personality that he is, and
Just don't do the dumb
not,
stuff. Don't do the stupid.
yeah, just leave all that, leave all the
Focus on basketball and your family.
yeah, leave all
Basketball
the
family.
Like, don't be
NBA
a
young boy
rapper. You
stuff.
ain't in the rap industry. You don't even do all.
You ain't
Watch you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
like leave all that for the
Leave the
guys.
Memphis rappers alone.
Yeah.
Like you're not out there with Key Glock and them. Like you can kick it with them after the game. After the game, keyword.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down. Put the guns down.
Yeah.
Get in the gym. You know. So
Like, how
I
do you want to
think
be remembered? What do you want your
ultimately,
legacy to be? You want to be a legend, or you want to be a cautionary tale? You tell me.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, and I think and I talked about this when like it was at its apex on my podcast Beige Bros, and I said like you know the Ja Morant thing is it's deeper than just like oh my gosh like you know why is he doing this? You know, it goes deeper. You know what I'm saying? There's this from we can all attest to this as black men, but you know, there is a pressure to appear hard and to appear like you got it out the mud and you know what I'm saying, you hopping off the porch with the you know outside and it's just not needed. Like he's got kids, he's got a shoe line that was does his sneakers still get produced or did they
Jaws
scrap?
2 just
Yeah,
came
Nike
out.
still got him.
Yeah.
Jaws 2
Okay, so
just
yeah,
came
like
out.
you got a
Nike's still
sneaker.
rocking with him.
Sneakers are clean.
Like you have everything
Everybody
going
rocking
for
Jaws.
yourself. So don't ruin it with the dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? Still be the same dynamic guy that you are, but just leave all the shenanigans out there. And I think Marcus Smart is going to play an instrumental role in keeping him, you know, squared and centered
Keeping him grounded.
and grounded. But then also, I will say this too, and again, Ja's one of my favorite players. He still has to work on the defensive end of the ball, where that is where a Marcus Smart plays a big role. That is where a Gigi Jackson, who is a young player that I'm very high on, and I think that is the biggest question mark on the team is that small forward spot. Is it Gigi Jackson's spot? Did he fully cement it or no? Because I think they're going to probably run a lot of lineups with Jackson Jr. at the 4 and Edie at the 5. But they need to figure out that small forward position because once they do and everybody's playing locked and loaded, yeah, they don't just have one of the best teams in the West. They have one of the best starting fives in the NBA. Everything is put together.
Jackson underwent foot surgery, so he's gonna be reevaluated in December. So he's gonna be out for a little bit. So they're gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They got Vince Williams Jr.
Yeah.
They got Vince Williams Jr. and he was a pretty solid shooter that was in the corner that they could place right there too for the time being. So they still got some young pieces and players that they could just input in there for the time being. Another person they forget about too is Brandon Clark. He's another
Ooh,
another
good one.
athletic power
Oh,
forward
you
that comes
forgot
off the
him. He's
bench
coming
for
off a
them.
Achilles.
Santi Aldama is a good little solid 7-footer that can space the floor out for them as well. So they've got some pieces for the time being to fill in. I think Gigi Jackson is a raw, talented player that can provide a lot of impact for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he has a speedy recovery to where he can, be implemented back into that team. Got Kent Spencer. He's a rookie coming from UConn on the national championship team. So they have
Yeah.
winning players that can place a lot of impact at that wing position. It's just a matter of how much impact do they expect for Gigi Jackson with a healthy John Moran, Desmond Bain. Now you got Edie, and then also too you got what's his face, Jaren Jackson Jr. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how everything meshes and fits together.
Well, speaking of a class of 17 member, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh my God, this guy.
Yeah, that
We
guy's
need to
nice
hold
though.
this.
Jaren Jackson's solid.
Yeah,
He's
We
solid.
need to hold this man's feet to the fire though,
Yeah.
because at his height, it's
He's not a good
unacceptable that you're
rebounder.
averaging less than 6 boards. You can't even get 6 rebounds. It's like,
He's averaging.
bro.
I think that's the reason he has not been an all-star yet. His lack of rebounding.
He
I
doesn't.
don't,
Just
He
bet the
doesn't
under,
chase.
bro.
He don't be
I don't
chasing.
get it.
Oh
Like,
wait,
just
the under. Yeah, other rebounds.
put your arms out, like something, bro.
Just let
He
him
You
doesn't
gotta,
chase
6'4"
boards.
wingspan, bro. You don't have T-Rex arms. Use it.
like,
Yeah.
you're like, he doesn't have T-Rex arms. He doesn't have Desmond Bane's problem. Sorry, hate to this.
Yeah.
I rock with Desmond Bain,
Yeah.
but Desmond Bain should not almost average the same amount of rebounds as you.
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
that's true,
That's
bro. That's
unacceptable.
concerning. That's pretty concerning.
So where do you,
It's concerning to me.
Dylan Armani, where do you see the
So,
Grizzlies finishing? Because me and Phil got them top 4. Before we go to the next team.
I've got him at 6 seed. I've got him at the 6 seed.
6-8.
yeah, the
5
thing
6.
is,
5 6. I say 5
yeah,
6.
I got them in the top 5-6 as well. I would like to put them in that top 3, but there's too many questions that I have. I need to see their lineup fully healthy before I start putting stock into them being a top team in the West.
Okay.
I think the talent is there, and if Ja takes another leap, then for sure. But as it stands right now, I think they're in that
5
5
and 6.
6 range. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
They're
there's just
going
too
to be
many.
a fringe playing team. They're not going to be a playing team, I don't think,
Oh
because
no,
they have too much firepower. They have too much firepower on that team to where they're going to be effective enough to cause a lot of ruckus in the West. It's just a matter of, like I said, health. I think health is the most important thing, and availability on the players that can provide a lot of impact. So, I think 5 and 6 seed is like a fair assessment for me at least. I think that's good.
You know who was a player that was slept on that actually had a really good year for them in the aftermath of everything? But I really liked what I saw out of Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he's a solid off the bench player. Good role player that can come in, run the offense well. Kind of reminds me of Tyus Jones a bit. But he doesn't. He's a very smart player. He doesn't let the game. He plays at a good pace. He takes smart shots. He's a good shooter, and he's got obviously with the pedigree of his name, he's a great defender, and I really like players like that. Good guy in the locker room. So I think to the point of the Grizzlies, I think they're a very deep team. It just comes to putting it all together and executing, and their health. Their health is number one. Health and execution is number one.
Are you in search of a pharmacy for all your medical needs? Check out my guy Jason Hu's Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding, located at 337 US 46 Rockaway, New Jersey, zip code 07866, serving all of New York and New Jersey. They specialize in compounding sildenafil for male erectile dysfunction, as well as semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. They come to you with an amazing delivery service, so don't worry about having to come in person. Once again, check out Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding in Rockaway, New Jersey by my guy Jason who was the first guy to buy my merch. You can call them at 973-559-7979. That's 973-559-7979. Proud partner of the DJ Sports Show.
So next, let's try to do these a little quicker. We still got a lot of teams left. So next we got the New Orleans Pelicans, 49-33, 8th in the West. Will Ingram get traded? He missed a team mini camp in the summer. He's a guy who really needs the ball in his hands to be effective. And he isn't really a quick reactive decision maker with the ball in his hands. Is Zion in shape? he got a new chef now. He looks slim. I don't know if y'all saw the photos. He's looking slim, like the best. They're saying skinny Zion.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's trying to take his. He's trying to follow LeBron blueprint. How Dejounte Murray fit? They traded for him. They got him. He shot 36% from beyond the arc last season on 7.1 attempts per game. Trey Murphy was their fourth best scorer, averaging 14.8 points per game, shot 38% from the field. Will he get a bigger role? That's why there's questions of will they want to trade Ingram? Because Trey Murphy, this is a guy right here, young veteran right here. He can play both ends of the court. He can spread the floor, really athletic. He's really viable for them. Will CJ be willing to be a sixth man? He signed a 2-year, $64 million extension that will make up 23.7% of the cap this season. They could look to trade him because that's a lot of money right there. And probably get another solid young piece right there if he's not willing to come off the bench. Because I think they'll be better suited for him to come off the bench, give him some firepower, some spark, more depth on their team. And is Willie Green in the hot seat? This is a team they lost in the play-in. They have not made the playoffs officially in Zion's career. Part of that due to Zion being injuries and injuries to the team in general. So, I'm just interested, like, Zion, can you finally, like, last year he had the healthiest season of his career since his second year. I want to see if he can build upon that. Can you do it for a whole season, dominate, get to that All-NBA status? Like, he said he's following the LeBron blueprint in terms of health and getting a trainer, personal chef. Now, can you do that for a whole season? Can you be consistent? Can you be that franchise player that they drafted you to be first overall? Can you make your team get into the playoffs, not just the play-in, the playoffs? I want to see you in the postseason.
Man, I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see you dominate. I want to see you blowing.
Did y'all see that game against my Lakers when he dropped 40 on us? Man, I was to death. Imagine getting that for 60-some games a year. That's what I want to see, bro.
I want to see you, Zion.
All you need is 60 games. All you need is 60 games.
Talking about the 99, 2017 representing 2000, bro. Zion first out the 21st century. Come on, Zion. Represent. Let's go. Represent, boy. Represent.
Old as hell.
Him and Josh Stealing, bro. I think Zion's stealing. If they're stealing, I think Zion's a little bit higher because you can't stop that.
Oh, absolutely.
Man right there. That's a grown man.
Yeah, no, he can do things that most at that size could never even imagine. But Phil, I was gonna say Zion was playing that game like he was gonna go home to a Savannah.
Oh my God.
Because if you want to follow LeBron blueprint, he got to stop messing out. He got to stop messing around with all these skeezers and
stay out them streets.
He need to get out them streets.
Get out the streets, stay in the paint.
Hang up that jersey, young man. Hang up that jersey. Go get you a nice doctor. Go get you a nice.
Real, man.
go get you a girl at the church. I don't know, but
the Pelicans, man.
Basketball wise, I think the Pelicans actually, I mean, I've been saying this for 3 straight seasons. They have, on paper, one of the most talented rosters in the league. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. Like you think about, we're not even naming guys like
Herb Jones, Trey Murphy.
Herb Jones, Jordan Hawkins, Jose Alvarado.
You know
what I'm saying? We're not naming guys like I think, is it Larry Nance Jr. on the team still, or do they trade him in the?
He's out.
Okay, all right. But Dyson Daniels, Najee Marshall, they've got a lot of young guys who. Oh, okay, never mind. He's not on the team anymore too. He's on Dallas. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So. Either way, though, the Pelicans have a lot of depth. You know, we mentioned Trey Murphy. Valanciunas is still one of the more underrated big men in the league, in my opinion. He's been.
He's on the Wizards now.
He's on the Wizards.
They don't even have him anymore.
Everybody is moving on this team. All right.
No, I'm sweating.
I don't know the Pelicans. Clearly, I don't know the Pelicans like I thought I did. But on paper, of the names that we've named, they do have a lot of talent. I do think, though, things are going to be impacted by if Brandon Ingram gets moved or not, because I've seen his name float around. I was shocked that no team. I remember hearing that Cleveland was trying to put together a trade package to get him, and I would have really liked to see him in Cleveland with Garland and Mitchell. I think that would have been been something. I actually would have been pretty. I would have been like, okay, wait a minute, Cleveland kind of doing something, but I don't know who they wanted them to have to give up in order to make that possible. But Trey Murphy being there, that does open things up if
they have to get rid of Ingram. But I would like for them to keep Ingram because I still think that Ingram can be a big time producer and player for them. You know, and I think Zion, the talent, the ceiling with him it's leaps and bounds. We don't even know what his ceiling is going to be. Just like I say the same thing with Victor Wembanyama. We don't even know how great they can be. So I think ultimately, as a team, they need to put together a playoff run for management, ownership to feel confident.
Willie Green's coaching. I hope Willie Green doesn't get fired, man. He's on the hot seat.
Yeah, I rock with Willie Green. He was
I think Willie Green's a good dude, though. I think he's a good person.
You can't blame him, bro.
Especially with the young guys.
Yeah, you can't
no, not at all. I mean, when your star players,
Health is very important.
when your star player is,
Always
more
out.
concerned with tricking than getting in the gym, that's a problem. I'm sorry, we can't ignore the obvious.
Oh, that's true. Huh?
All right, Zion.
Oh,
Look,
man,
I'm
don't
a
say
Duke
it.
fan. I'm a Duke fan, so I love Zion. Like Zion's like my my little big little brother, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Zion. You know what I'm saying? He's a good kid. I really do think like he's a good, like those text messages exchanges showed that is a very polite young man.
Crazy work. Crazy work.
Hey,
But
that is a
Also,
very
Zion.
polite young man. All things aside, he was raised well, but he needs to expand his game as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ja. He also needs to develop that mid-range game
He
in
has
order.
it. He just needs more confidence. I've seen him do it. He needs to take it more, just be more confident in it.
I think it's like the more consistent of a weapon that becomes, I think the better, because that's going to allow him to play longer. And he already has the health problems. You don't need to add another wrench to that. So I think if the Pelicans put it all together, they're gonna be in that 6 to 8 range, just because there are a lot of questions and the talent up top is very tough. But I think the Pelicans have what it takes to continue building on their foundation.
I'm gonna say
I think they have
I'm gonna say this one thing before we get to the next team. Valanciunas, them losing him, that's gonna be a big blow. And the inside,
That's a big.
they don't have that interior presence. Defensively, they're gonna struggle, and then scoring in the paint as well. I think they're gonna struggle.
They're pretty
I
undersized.
live out here and I see this team. Why you want to come over here?
I was going to Wizards, bro. What?
Yeah.
I'm like losing him. Interior on both ends, they're gonna struggle. Don't be shocked that they're one of the worst defensive teams in the paint. And then also scoring wise, I think they're going to struggle because offensively he was a menace and he was a double machine. So yeah, I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah,
he's a skilled center. He's a pretty underrated center.
Yeah, definitely.
If he played in any other era, he probably would have gotten an All-Star bid or two at some point of his career. Yeah. But he's just not in the league he's not in the era of the league that values back-to-basket post-up big men.
Yeah.
So,
and he can stretch the floor. So next we got go Spurs go. 22-60 last season, 14th in the West. They signed NBA legend Chris Paul. They acquired Harrison Barnes from the Chris Duarte and the Rosen trade. 28th in turnovers last season.
Sorry, I just had to
25th in
That's the Duke fan in me, sorry.
24th in points. They were one of the worst rebounding teams last season, despite Wemby's presence. So whenever Wemby was off the court, they just couldn't get a damn rebound. They drafted Stephon Castle from UConn, who's a defensive stalwart, who I think is going to be really great for them, valuable as a defensive piece who can guard some of the top guards and wings in the league. And Wemby will have a monster sophomore season, 21.4 points per game last year, 10.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists, led the league in blocks, finished second Defensive Player of the Year voting. And we saw what he did in the Olympics, man. He nearly almost beat Team USA by itself. This guy, like I've been saying, man, I call him the French Mamba. He is a menace. He's an alien. This dude has the chance to be the best player in the league. This guy's the best talent we've seen since LeBron. He's a millennium generational talent. I've been watching since he was 15. I knew he was going to be this good. Maybe I was worried, he's too skinny. So I said, watch this. I said, y'all.
Yeah.
He's the
He
one.
wasn't worried about that.
I won't lie.
He's been hiding me for a long time.
I said, maybe looking out the best prospect in the NBA. I did a
I remember that.
I went crazy.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was
young player has no potential. One player.
You went viral for that too. I remember.
Over 90,000 views. I called it. I said, I'm not worried about his frame. He has the work ethic. He has the mind. That's what it's about here. Because some big guys, they don't have the mindset. They're just kind of aloof. Nah, he has. That's why I wasn't worried about him. And he's doing these freak stretches like he's freaking some Elastic Man on Fantastic Four. I'm like, yo,
like
this is-
Gumby.
No, literally, bro.
like, what is this? This dude, like, how is he doing that? Like, I can't even do that. I'm flexible, but not like that. Like, whoa, like what? Like, nah, man. And then he has a true point guard now, Chris Paul, who could set him up. Because Heavenly Father, last year, it was frustrating me.
They had Sochan running point guard. I'm like, I don't know.
Like,
bro.
That was crazy.
He's wide open. He's 8-foot wingspan.
I'm gonna have the Cisco cut running point guard.
Chris Paul played with Lob City, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin. He gonna get that.
Yeah.
He's gonna get this man lobs all day. Yo, it's gonna be a field day. He's from Miami. He's gonna be like, Heavenly Father, thank you. You got me the point guard.
Yeah.
He orchestrated the offense with the Lob City, yo. And this was a team they struggled with last year. So Chris Paul is.
Are we locking All-Star and Defensive Player of the Year for Wemby? Are we locking that? Can we all be in agreement?
Hey, let's go back to All-Star. First team this year. NBA second team or first?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to lock that in first.
As long as he stays healthy.
All-NBA what?
All-NBA second team this year. All-NBA first or second team this year. If he stays healthy and
he's gonna perform. He's gonna perform.
Bro, if they make a play and run,
he's not gonna make it, but he's making it.
And if they're at least top 8 seed. Remember, it's positionless. It's positionless now. So,
okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
There's no, it's the best. It's basically the best 5. It's the best 5.
Yeah, and you can't tell me.
I think for them,
Wemby's top 10.
I was just saying for them. No, he is for sure. And I think the thing for them though, they don't really have a lot of effective players around him offensively. But I think the most important thing for the Spurs they're gonna have to lock in on is defense. I think adding a guy like Harrison Barnes, drafting Stephon Castle, guys like that's gonna help them on the defensive end of the ball. They're gonna have to really guard up because they don't have you have Chris Paul, but the age-wise on the offensive side of the ball, you're not gonna get a high dynamic amount of points with Chris Paul. I feel like, but being able to play through Wemby, I feel like it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for other guys to be able to get wide open shots that they're going to have to be able to knock down shots. Just from looking at that standpoint, I think defense is going to be very important for this team, though, for sure.
Yeah, Chris Paul's going to feed him the ball, get him the ball where he wants it. In the correct
it's going to be good.
He's playing with one of the greatest point guards of all time. I'm just so happy because last year it was just they didn't have a 2-point guard last year.
It was forced. It was so forced, bro.
I'm like, Jeremy Sohan, play. Yeah, bro. Yeah,
Sohan was playing point guard. I was like, I don't know if this is
like Phil said.
Bro, I'm like G League
like
team.
Phil said, they had Cisco out there at point guard.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yo, we'll be good. Sometimes when he had to be on that bench, scratching his head, who am I playing with? Like, these guys don't know how to give me the ball.
Bro, I would say this about the Spurs, and to further piggyback off of Armani's point, the complementary players around Wemby is going to be the biggest story because there was times, and I like both of them as players, but I like Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, but there was times where they were trying to go hero ball, thought they were Kobe, and it's like, hey, you're not Kobe.
Wemby's right there, hands up like that.
You got
Wemby over there,
right?
Yeah,
you got Wemby over there,
bro.
I know Wemby was like, I didn't see you. Y'all can't miss me. I'm a skyscraper. Can't miss me.
Bro, literally, bro.
So I think
you see me.
Come on, man.
I think they're figuring out who's going to be there long term next to Wemby. I like both of them. Vassell and Keldon Johnson.
I like Vassell.
Yeah, I like Vassell better.
You're not feeling Keldon Johnson though?
I think Keldon Johnson's good, but I feel like he's at a stagnant. I feel like Johnson's at a stagnant point. I feel like the upside is more so on Devin's side more so than Keldon. I feel like Keldon's been in that system for long enough to be able to know what he can do and how to peak. But I don't know. I'm just not seeing it out of him. I don't know. I just haven't seen it.
I get that.
And I'm a Kentucky fan too, and everything, so I support, bro. But the way he's trying to play on that team, I mean, he averaged 15 this past year, but I think the upside's more so with Devin, just being at that 2-guard position, being able to create off of drive and kick penetrations and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like Keldon kind of still needs to make more of a jump, if anything.
No, I agree on that. I do think that will be I
It's
think
gonna
that
be
will
a
be a
good
good
competition
difference
for them
maker.
too.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good difference maker if he does make that jump. Um, and pairing, you know, as far as players next to Wemby, I mean, I'm biased because he went to my high school, but I really hope Zach Collins can be that power forward that plays next to Wemby. But
He just has to be healthy. That's it.
he has to stay healthy.
That's
Like
it.
that's been his
Yeah,
that's been his
he's
problem
nice
since.
too. Hmm.
Yeah, like he's like I'm biased, but like Zach is one of the hardest working players that I've ever seen. He wasn't highly regarded when he was coming out of high school the way that Steven Zimmerman and Chase Jeter were. So I've seen Zach really evolve and progress, and he had a really good freshman year.
I
Almost won
heard
a
those
natty
days
at
a long
Gonzaga.
time.
I
Yeah,
know, but like
yeah, he was like Gonzaga. Yeah,
But yeah. But I'm still, and he's not afraid to get in the mix, and throw hands if need be. So like, you need a player like that around your star. You need to protect your star as much as possible.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of health with him, and I think that Chris Paul will have a good influence on Trey Jones. I think he'll be a good influence to him. But I'm very interested to see where Castle fits into this because we know Pop doesn't like to play rookies. Like Wemby was it was similar to the Duncan being drafted. Like this is a generational prospect. You have to play this guy.
hmm
They
But
didn't even play
I'm very
30 minutes per game. They didn't even play him that much.
yeah.
Yeah, he
No, they could have played him a lot more. And I'm very intrigued to see where Stephon Castle plays. If they put him at the point as well, because he can play the point. He has
Yeah.
the ability to.
So he played at
Um,
UConn. Hmm.
or if they put him at the 3, or if they put him at the 2, or if he even starts. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very intrigued to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. Where we got the Spurs finishing the season before we go to the next team? I got them in the play-in.
Ooh,
I say French playing. Yeah, they're gonna be teetering
yeah,
around that playing spot. I don't know if they'll make it in the playing
Yeah,
game, but
play-in
they'll
is
be
top
teetering
10
around
seed.
there.
Top
I got
10
them
seed.
just outside the plane.
Yeah,
I need to
I
see
think
what's
they're
around Wembanyama.
Okay.
I got them like 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
11.
yeah,
Yeah,
I got them
that's a
like
good
10.
spot.
I got them like 10.
unless they put some around Wemby, it's 11 at highest.
If Wemby goes super
I'll
over
put
this year and their pieces are solid around him and they do what they have to do at their roles, I got them playing play-in.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think if they had the young talent around him in Portland, like if you put Wemby on Portland, guaranteed
Oh,
playoff
field day.
team.
He got all them
Oh,
guards.
Guaranteed
absolutely.
Yeah,
playoff.
that's a field day.
Guaranteed playoff team.
Yeah.
But given the talent that's around him in San Antonio,
It's not that
yeah,
high. Yeah,
in that
the
11 to
market's not that
12
good.
range, pushing 10, pushing that final play-in spot
Yeah.
if everything clicks. And if
Kind of like
Wemby
the
takes
Rockets
another
last year.
leap, you said what?
It's kind of like the Rockets last year, where they almost made it, just kind of on that fringe. Yeah,
On that
Yeah,
fringe, yeah.
Sengun had all those pieces and everything. Yeah,
But if Wemby does take the leap that DJ is talking about, then that opens up the range of possibility. They could be
that's
like
all.
they could be an 8th seed.
Yep.
It's not impossible.
Yep.
If he plays at an All NBA, second team or first team level,
yeah.
I'm calling.
nothing's
If he stays
impossible.
healthy, and they win, he's gonna make it. First.
I'm rocking with Bro Extra because he's a Star Wars fan and he doesn't acknowledge
Okay.
7 through 9. He doesn't acknowledge 7 through 9. I'm like, my man, you know ball. Hey, and Armani, he's part of Capricorn gang too. We got another one.
So next we got the Los Angeles Clippers, 51-31, 4
Oh,
So you lost
I'm ready.
North Philadelphia. You trade Westbrook to Utah, acquired Chris Dunn inside and trade. You signed Derrick Jones to the Mavericks. You re-signed Harden and Nicholas Batum. You extend Ivica Zubac. Can Kawhi stay healthy? He just had another knee procedure. How do you feel about the Clippers?
Whoa.
Same as last year, no rings. Same shit as always.
I think they're going to take a dip this year. I think this team I think they're going to be probably I'm going to say around the 8th to play-in spot. Honestly, on the play-in area.
Honestly, bro,
Yeah,
you might want to
yeah.
train Kawhi, bro. Kawhi's value is what it is. Them injuries are starting to hit hard now, man. That knee injuries.
Yeah, it's
You
always
might want
the
to
knee
consider
too.
it.
It's always the knee.
That's not even a hate. I'm just being honest.
Yes. Like
it's tough, man. I love
His value's so high.
Kawhi. Like Kawhi is probably my favorite player of the 2010s. It's either him or Kyrie, and they both came in the same draft too, in 2011. Shout out. But those injuries, and I'm speaking as someone who's had multiple knee injuries. Obviously, I'm not Kawhi Leonard. You know, different set of circumstances. But knee injuries repeat. Like when you have consistent knee injuries,
Might feel too lucky.
we saw with Derrick Rose. That
And
will
your
take
30s.
down
Yep.
in his 30s, right? That will take down the effectiveness in a player. And Kawhi is the kind of player who I would never bet against. But at the same time, I have to go off the conventional wisdom of what I've seen the last few years, and he's not been able to stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's still one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, he proved last
He's got a
Yep.
he's got a play style that ages well. You know what I'm saying?
Because he developed that
he's a
jumper,
super
that offensive game during his Spurs years. So he never had to rely on athleticism.
Exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. So I think that the Clippers as a team, they have a couple of young guys. You know, we mentioned earlier Kevin Porter Jr. I think Kevin Porter, that's going to be an opportunity for him to right the ship for him and change the perception around him and narrative. You know, I'm very actually interested to see what he does, because I think you know, that's one thing that they if they could go back in time and not trade Shea, I think that team is so different.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
But then Shea would be what he is today, I believe. So I don't think Shea would be what he is today if he. That's the thing. It's like you could think
it's kind of like Harden with OKC.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you think about it, Harden wouldn't have been able to flourish.
That's exactly where I was going.
Like he did, unless he got traded over to Houston. Like, I think for James Harden this year, it's going to be kind of important to see how he plays now without Paul George in that backcourt with him. Obviously, you know, when you have a big three like that, like you're literally fighting to just be a facilitator or even try to get your shots whenever you can. I want to kind of see how he's going to be able to play with these younger guys. You know, they've got Derrick Jones Jr. now. Terrence Mann is a pretty solid role player on that team. Paul's a good shooter. I just want to be able to see Harden be the effective playmaker that he was once before. Like, there was glimpses last year where he was able to do that, but I think for him, he kind of got really clouded and lost in the fact of having Paul George on that team, and then you also have Kawhi Leonard, 2 ball dominant scorers at the 4th position. I kind of want to see. I know his age; he's starting to age up. He's 35 now, but I think Harden still has something left to where he can provide tremendous value for this team to at least compete for a playing spot, and not even a playing spot, but even like a 6 to 7 range. It's just a matter of how does he want to approach this season? What does he want to come out? Because when Harden's literally the guy, he has the ball in his hands, he's effective still. Like that's proven, it's given every single time. It's just a matter of can he get the best out of his team around him. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah, there's gonna be more pressure.
Another player y'all didn't mention was Terrence Mann. Y'all just got that 3-year deal. I want to see what he does this year.
He's good. I like Terrence Mann.
I like his game.
They're gonna be calling on him to be the third scorer behind Kawhi and Harden.
Absolutely.
Well, that's where I think Kevin Porter Jr. has the talent to be. I'm very high on Kevin Porter Jr. You know,
this guy.
No, he's not. He's not. He's
a young buck. He a 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, he a young buck. He a wild bull, that's for sure. But I think the talent. I think the talent is there. It's just all about putting it together and not being your own worst enemy. I think that's the story with him. But we talked about Norman Powell, a guy that doesn't get a lot of props, but I think is a very solid center. Is Ivica Zubac. I think he's a very underrated center. He's consistently a near double kind of big man. He plays well in the interior. He's got a soft touch. I think that the Clippers as a team are in that 6, 7, 8 range. But if they have health and everything is put together, they might surprise a lot of people. But conventional wisdom suggests no. But I don't put it past them just because they do have a lot more talent on their roster than people are giving them credit for.
Like who? Like Mobamba?
Man, please.
Well, no. But
yeah, they got some size down there. Mobamba outside of Zubac, they needed some size. They got pick them up, you know.
Yeah, that's a pain defender they got. Yeah,
but I think that ultimately as a team, I think that they it all comes down to Kawhi. It all comes down to Kawhi with them. If Kawhi can come back and if Harden can man the fourth down,
And I've never been big on Harden as a number one. That's always been my issue with
gear
him.
up for that because Kawhi's gonna miss some time. So Harden, gear up to be a number one.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not certain. I'm not sold on Harden as a number one, but crazier things have happened before. But I do think they have some good defenders and shooters around that will easing them into the season. But I think that the one thing that isn't getting taken into consideration, this is kind of wild, but they are playing in their own stadium for the first time in history.
Yeah, but
They
still
got out of
bummer.
house.
What are you selling the team now?
It's beautiful.
You got a ball stopper and James Harden go this. You're selling, and then the Kawhi guy. So you selling for your intro season in the dome, the Intuit Dome. Like, come on, I'm
That's
not.
nice,
It
bro.
was an easy move. They had no banners to bring, bro.
And no
You know,
banners at
they
all.
didn't
Like,
very much.
No,
Oh,
they've
It's real
got
easy.
you guys lost Paul George because you didn't want to give him the little extra millions he wanted. Like, come on, man. Like,
they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose this season. Honestly,
I'm just like,
that's actually
nobody's
like I feel
won
like
a chip this year. Nobody.
as a team, they've reached like the perfect kind of purgatory, which is an oxymoron because purgatory isn't perfect, but the perfect kind of purgatory where there's no expectation on them, and everybody will be pleasantly surprised if they do something great. So I still think they can be a playoff team just because when you look at some of the younger teams in the West, they've got enough veterans to be able to make a run, but I don't put them anywhere higher than that 6 to 8 range.
I think they're in the playing 7 to 10 range. So
Playing.
where are you guys?
Yeah.
All agree.
Playing
Okay. The next two teams we got we got Phil's team coming soon, and then we got around your area Armani. So we got the Golden State Warriors, 46-36, 10th in the West. You lose. You lose the splash brother Klay Thompson to Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
You acquired Kyle Anderson in a sign trade deal, and you acquire the Walmart Buddy Hield splash brother version of Klay Thompson and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's great, but they're just trying to replace Klay Thompson there. I saw it as they're trying to. You signed the Anthony Melton. You guys struggled on the interior defensively last year. You lack size on your team, and they still haven't really made up for that. And can Jonathan Kuminga, your 7th overall pick in 2021, can he take that next leap as someone you see as your viable foundational piece in the future? Now that Klay Thompson gone, he's going to have more touches, more opportunities offensively. He averaged 16.1 points per game last season, 4.8 rebounds, 2.2 assists on 53% from the field. Shot 32% from three. But the season before that, though, he shot 37% from three. He's shown some flashes now that consistent minutes that he could be a viable piece, a guy who can contribute to your team on both ends of the floor. But now can he continue to build upon that? He's going to be asked to have a bigger role now with Klay gone, and he's going to have more touches now in the offense. Can he take that next step? Because Steph's getting older. The defense is going to gear up on Steph. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think he's going to be either the second or third scoring option on this team. I think, it's either Steph is the primary. That's no doubt. But the secondary is going to be Buddy Hield, and then third is going to be Kuminga.
Bro. Yeah, Kuminga and Kuminga's talent too. Like I think the thing with Steve Kerr, a lot of opportunity wasn't given to Kuminga early on, just with his potential and his literally like his intangibles as a player. Like, bro, he's literally a gifted athlete. I feel like Kuminga is going to be in a position this year to where he's going to have more of the keys to be able to, steer and drive this team to wins. Because the outside other spots, like they really lost a lot of quality just in losing Klay Thompson. But at the same time, you get Buddy Hield. That's a good, another shooting guard that's pretty effective at shooting the ball from the 3-point line. I think that would be pretty beneficial for them. But I think, like you said with Steph, like he's 36 now. Like his legacy in the regards to trying to compete and hunt for championships ain't going to be as good, especially with how competitive the West is now. But I feel like Kuminga can make a jump to where he can average at least 20 to 25 a game, I would hope. Only with the basis that they allow him the ball and give him opportunities to thrive and succeed, because literally that's all it was. Like, I literally went to a couple games this past year, and every time Kuminga will make a mistake, you literally see Kerr and them chewing him out, and like he's getting benched or whatever. But like when they allowed him to just play, like when Draymond got suspended for those games,
let him play free.
The little chokehold game. Basically,
Kuminga can be all-star this year.
They let Kuminga play. Kuminga played really good.
Kuminga is a dark horse pick for me as well to be all-star.
Yeah, I agree. They got young guys.
What's it called? Yeah.
Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski.
Yeah,
Like
he was an all NBA our rookie first
Yeah, I'm
team
about to say, still the
selection.
NBA, you know. I'm about to say.
No. He got ways to go,
Yeah.
but no, he showed a lot of promise this year.
For sure.
I'm a little worried about they're very thin in that front court,
Yeah.
very thin. I like Trace Jackson Davis, but
He's 6'9".
He's a good
He's
rookie.
not,
He was solid though for when they had him, but yeah, he's undersized.
Yeah.
Very undersized.
they have no footers on their team.
the Warriors
I
hate
really-
7 footers, bro.
man, I really wish James Wiseman had been that guy. I was
Oh
very
my
high on him.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, waste. That
I was
was,
very
that was a
happy
dud.
with
That was such a dud,
Happy
bro.
opportunity.
But
was such a
you said
dud.
what? No,
What'd you
Phil,
say,
what'd you say?
But I'm saying James had every opportunity. Bro, all you gotta do pick and roll basketball with
Yeah,
Steph.
Wiseman. Yeah.
Catch lobs, rebound. What Kevon Looney does? Why can't you do that?
Yeah. And he had the
No,
size and
okay.
everything
Why can't you
too.
do that,
Literally.
Wiseman?
You know,
That's all you need to do.
ooh, you know who I just thought about, but you know who was a player that they should have offered? Valanciunas. He would have been perfect.
That would have been
Yeah.
perfect. That would have been
Pick and pop
I agree.
action, still
scoring
good
the low
enough
post.
rebounder
Guys
defender.
on there to rebound
Yeah,
high level. Yes.
Mhm.
and that allows Draymond and Trace Jackson to really be more like defensive anchors. But then you still have someone who has the size to be a force in the paint, as well as Looney. But yeah, I think as long as you have Steph, you're going to be competitive. Steph is
Oh
just
yeah, for sure.
in that class of
Oh, yeah.
players where, I talked about this on the stream. They were like, "Oh, the Warriors are done." I'm like,
Nah.
"Look, as
You
long as
can't
they
count
got
them out with
Steph,
Steph and
you can
Draymond
never
too.
count them out. You can never, and the momentum that Steph has from the Olympics needs to be taken into consideration. Granted, he is on the older side, but I mean,
Still
he
a
won
top
a
point guard
several.
in the NBA. Fact.
You don't rely on
He's still
No
athleticism.
the
questions.
He's
Rely on
No
athleticism.
question.
still the best point guard.
Yeah.
I don't care what.
Facts.
I love Jalen Brunson. I'm very high on the Jalen Brunson train, but no,
Just
Steph
Steph.
is still the
Steph is
best
easily still
point
the
guard.
It's
in the
Steph.
league.
We just get bored with greatness, bro. You get bored with greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 'Cause I'm-
Like we we get bored. Right, exactly. It's like 26 a game.
Like all these threes
But-
every
Volume shooter.
year.
Yeah, volume shooter and all that stuff. So he
It's
gets
always
a lot of
night.
ridiculous.
Like, come on.
The stuff he does is insane. It's ridiculous. So I think ultimately, Golden State is a team that it's like I don't want to say that they're out the title race as long as they have Steph, but they have a lot of questions. And I think it comes down to Kuminga. I think Kuminga is the most important piece on that team because of all the young players that they thought were gonna, because they drafted Moody, they drafted Jordan Poole, Wiseman. They've been preparing. They've been doing their best to prepare for life after Steph, Clay, and Draymond. But Kuminga's the only one who's still there that they drafted with that intent. And I think Kuminga still has the who that thing. Yeah. Sorry. I was about to say if we don't score here, I'm closing my computer. It's just shutting it down for the day. But yeah, I think Kuminga is the biggest difference maker because, like Armani was saying, he has the ability and potential to be a 20 to 25 point scorer. I wrote an article about him, and I talked about like the ceiling for him is sky high. I think he's
Kawhi Leonard, too,
in my opinion,
is appealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi.
yeah, and he's more athletic.
That's
He's more athletic than Kawhi.
he's like
You know
Scottie
what I'm saying?
Pippen.
Oh, yeah, it's super explosive.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen. That's his
But he's way more. He's got a bag to him, so it's just all about him getting the opportunity. And I want Steve Kerr to stop thinking, he's doing anything crazy by taking him out. That does not help the development of him by
Don't give him
taking
the
him
Tatum
out.
treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You're killing confidence. You're killing confidence, literally.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest, the most important intangible in football. I mean, sorry, in basketball, or just in any sport, though, any professional sport is confidence. If you don't have that confidence and belief that you can go out there and perform, you've already mentally told yourself that you're not going to go out and have a good game.
Yeah, let him get the reps, get the growing pains so he can learn from it. That's how you get better. That's how you get better.
Exactly.
I know Dylan has
Can Draymond avoid crashing out? Can we avoid any Draymond crash outs this season?
Oh, I hope so.
That as well. That as well.
Should get better.
So,
Because he's a leader, bro. You gotta be a leader.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
You're
it
not,
should
you're
get
not as
better.
much talent now on your team for room for margin of error, so you can't be doing that. You don't have KD.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You play Warriors no more. You can't be doing that. So before we go to the
No.
Lakers, where we got the Warriors finishing,
Play in 7 to 10.
I got them playing.
Playing.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you guys trade
That's why I
Wiggins?
got him
Do you
too.
trade Wiggins?
Oh, we forgot
For
about
a bag of
Wiggins.
nickels.
I-
For a bag of nickels.
I feel like he's not going to be. I feel like by the end of the year, I don't think Wiggins is going to be there.
Ooh,
For a
They're gonna-
bag of
I
nickels.
agree with you. I agree with it. Yeah.
I don't
I'm so
think. I
tired of
think they're going
Wiggins.
to try to get some more pieces or get capital because I don't see if Kuminga makes the jump that he makes that we're hoping for. I don't think Wiggins is going to be on this team come next season.
I agree. If they are intentional about giving Kuminga as much opportunity and room to really be to show that he can be the guy after
player.
Steph,
Mhm.
then you need to you do need to cut bait. And I think Wiggins can still be a high level player. He could still be a great addition to a team. I mean,
He's a good
I just
defender,
thought
but
about
it's just
thought about this. Put Wiggins on Memphis. That's a nice team right there.
Yeah.
That's a
At
very
the three,
nice team.
yeah. Mhm.
At the 3, that answers and fills a lot of questions for them. If the Pelicans get rid of BI, you put Wiggins over there.
Yeah.
Very very good team. Very good team.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think ultimately, I think that point about Wiggins is also very important to take into consideration.
So Dylan, I know you got work at 5 o'clock, so it's 4 o'clock. We got to go a little quick.
Oh no, I forgot to update because I worked yesterday.
Oh, so you want work?
I'm off
Okay,
today.
because I thought we had to rush through the.
He said, "I got time today."
I got time today.
I was like, fucking worried. I'm like, wait, we got 6 more teams. We only got an hour.
No, yo, my feet are
Philip huffing and puffing. I'm like, yeah, my Lakers are next. Oh gosh.
my feet are kicked up right
Got
now.
something to say.
So I know Philip,
But
your
the
Lakers team, and then Armani live in California, so we got the Lakers next. La La Land.
Yeah, that's my team
Lake
too.
Show.
47-35 last season, 7th in the West. You draft Bronny James and Dalton Necht, and then this year's
Don't forget, first round pick. Yep.
you signed Christian Coloco to a 2-way contract. You need some size outside of AD.
The lumber.
We signed Max Christie. You fired Darvin Ham and bring in JJ Redick. That's pretty much what happened this offseason. How we. I want to start with Phil because I know you're Lakers fan in Armani, in California. So
Let me get my shit off. So the great thing we got about being married, bro, is you always have a therapist in the house. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that off first of all. Let me get that off because my wife was like, "Hey, babe, NBC's about to start. How you feel about your Lakers?" You know what I told her, bro? This is honestly, bro. From a basketball standpoint, I'm good on my Lakers. Obviously, I love my team. I'm good on my team if the expectation is anything outside of championship. If we ain't talking championships, I'm good. I'm happy. We're gonna be a good little team. Make a little playoff run, maybe win a series or 2 at best. I'm cool with that. But you cannot tell me, bro. I'm trying not to go viral. You cannot tell me that we still in championship mode, and the biggest news of our offseason is getting Bronny James a 55th overall pick. And that's not dissing Bronny. I'm just saying, if our biggest news of the offseason is what we got at the 55th overall pick, what the hell are we talking championships for?
I think we lose DeRozan. Klay Thompson spurred y'all. Klay Thompson said,
we're talking championships for real.
You guys
We tried to get so many guys. We felt on
Got
every
DeMar
free agent
Clay.
pitch.
You know what I'm saying?
DeMar Clay, Valanciunas, Harden. We tried to go after every
I
single
gotta play
player.
2K and make up for the problems we got. My player. Like, come on. That's what I'm saying. If we're not talking championships, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me we got championship expectations.
There ain't no championship. Sorry, my brother.
Together the right way.
I'm sorry, my brother.
Come on.
There ain't no championship, and y'all coming anytime soon.
I need football, bro. Yo, go
Hey,
ahead.
I gotta ask this, Phil. Does Dylan Brooks get to a finals before LeBron again?
Man, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Two more seasons.
I'm having a good day, bro. I'm watching football. I'm thinking of my son. Like, I'm just having a good day, bro.
Oh, dang. And Klay Thompson spurned y'all. He said, I ain't going to the taxes in Cali, and the Lakers aren't a contender.
I'm saying.
He's on he said, I want to
he
pick
said
a
that's
contender.
Mm.
The House Mavericks, they made the finals,
Work.
like stuff like, he basically
Crazy
indirectly gave y'all, like, shot y'all in the foot right there. He, like,
100%. He's smart.
he's smart. And then the Texas too in Cali, he don't want to deal with all that.
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
not
hold
gonna
him
be
for that.
getting.
Them
He's not
taxes
gonna be getting his
crazy.
full.
Don't go to Texas, no state income tax. Like, come on, man, you can't.
I can't
No
hold him for
state
that.
income tax, man.
Yeah, he gonna make
Yep.
more money.
You
Keep
ever,
talking
you
about
ever, you ever see the women down in Dallas? I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Yeah. And then before we get to the next team, how do you feel about JJ Redick? Like I thought they shouldn't. I thought JJ Redick, he was doing great with his podcast. He's like top 3. Everybody's listening to his basketball podcast. I'm like, give all that up to go to this toxic coaching Laker job. You know what they do? They fire a coach within the first 2 seasons.
Bro, that was
I
his.
just
That was.
I don't know why he gave that
He
up.
was getting Pat Riley comparisons, bro. Can we stop? Can we please stop?
Wait. People are comparing JJ to Pat Riley.
Just the situation.
That's
Yes.
the information he's getting.
But maybe
That's
he says this here. Maybe
I know y'all heard that, yo. I know y'all heard
he
that.
has that little suave looking hair, you know. You have to.
Man,
Oh man, no, I love JJ. I'm a Duke fan, and I was a JJ fan when it wasn't cool to be a JJ fan. But nah, man, I'm sorry, man. He ain't gonna be no.
He does
He's
have
very
a good
smart.
basketball brain. He has a
He's
good
he's
He's
got a
knows,
great
bro.
and I'll
basketball brain.
say,
He knows.
He
yeah,
knows his X and O's. He knows the game well.
exactly.
But the podcast was really just his audition for the job.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This
Can't
when we
tell you
started
what.
denying the game with LeBron. I said, "Oh, we know what this is leading to."
That man was holding water for clutch mafia.
Oh yeah.
They said we got you, young man. You gonna get this job. But LA, everything comes down to damn it. Sorry, they just made a field goal. Everything comes down
That's
to
all right.
sorry ass team. Sorry ass team. So I just gotta say that. But I wish I was in Atlanta right now. Oh, I'll be. It's probably a good thing I'm not in Atlanta right now. But with the Lakers, yeah, the fact that the most notable thing that happened to them this offseason was getting Bronny, and as there's still questions about like who is going to be their guy when LeBron eventually hangs it up, because we've seen like AD has all the talent in the world, but he can't stay healthy. The man thinks
He
he's
had a healthy season in a while. He's been the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, he was available last year.
It's not like
He was
the AD
available.
from like 2021 and 2.
no,
Yeah.
but you it's tough because he's
I
like
know what he's saying.
he still wants to play like he's 6'2" and 6'3". It's like, bro, you're 7 foot and you're shooting more threes than posting up. That's a problem. If I'm the Lakers, that's still a problem that I would be like, yo, man, like I get it. You've made some big shots from 3, but you're not a 3-point sniper. You're not easy money sniper. You're not KD. You're AD. So
Thank you.
I don't know, like who do they build the team around? Is it Rui? Is it Austin Reeves? Like I think these are young players that are good. A shout out to my again class of 17 brethren right there. But are they those kind of players that they can invest in to be for their future? Because as it stands right now, the Lakers don't really have someone to pass the baton to.
They're gonna have to look forward to that 2026 or 27 draft. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah,
and that's do they start if they start the year slow? Do they start off trying to do they start off and accept like, hey, we're not going to do anything? Do they move players? Do they trade AD? Like I'm very interested to see, because LeBron is obviously still playing at a high level. So I don't think they're
got like 2 more years in him left. After next
but
retires.
Yeah, but he's going to be retiring soon, and they're not at all in title contention. So like, what do the Lakers do? That I mean, look, ESPN and everybody else is going to remind us 24/7.
Don't talk about them even when they're bad.
yeah.
Much to the dismay of Phil,
Just like
I'm
the
sorry,
Knicks,
man,
bro.
over there.
Just like the Knicks
Over there.
They're still going to talk about them.
The Cowboys in the NFL.
The thing the Lakers could do though, and I feel like they've been talking about a lot lately, is the development with Rui Hachimura in that lineup. I feel like he is an X factor that is going to need to show up, and there's been a lot of glimpses and times where Rui hasn't shown up, and there's been times where he has shown up, but they're going to need him to be way more aggressive this year for sure.
Way more.
We already know the fact too about D'Angelo Russell plays when it comes playoff time, but when he's like on shot target. Like he's pretty effective, but he just is really skeptical at times, and he gives me a lot of anxiety when I watch him play.
You
But
telling
a
me?
person I will say, I already know but I know
Good.
a person that I did get to watch was Dalton Knecht. He is a rookie, but at the same time, I feel like he can be a very effective player for this team.
Yeah.
Just from his intangibles as just a player playing at Tennessee, he was in a good program. He is a very
I like him.
underrated draft pick that the Lakers were able to
No,
steal.
that was a
He
good
could
pick.
And he can
he
play right
could
now,
end up
bro.
being
He's ready to play right now.
very valuable.
Yeah.
He's ready to play, and he has no fear in his game. He has a very competitive edge. Like we were watching Bronny play, and I'm like, bro, I don't think he's ready. But Dalton Knecht, he was competing, bro, and he's ready for that moment. And I think having him, Max Christie, Reeves in that backcourt, they can provide a lot of value on that team. Health wise, Jared Vanderbilt was a very important piece when the Lakers were
Oh, that was okay.
he has to be healthy.
I forgot about
He
Vanderbilt.
has to be healthy, bro. And if
Hurt so much.
he's a good wildcat, so I support him all the time. But he has to be healthy. He can't really shoot, but his impact on the defensive end of the ball,
Defensive ability is.
he's really effective. But him and Gabe Benson, those are two guys. If they're there, they provide a lot of value to the defensive end because the Lakers, they are going to win games and they're going to play when it matters most. But it's just a matter of down the stretch with the depth on the other team. So
Yeah.
Can I ask y'all a quick question?
yeah, what's up?
Can I ask y'all a quick question? I'm going to give y'all the first 10 games of the season. How many wins are we getting? Be honest, y'all. I'm looking at this. Okay. Game 1, Minnesota, L.
Under? Oh, and over and under, you saying?
The first 10 games. The first 10 games of the season.
They losing that.
Minnesota, L. Phoenix,
L.
Phoenix, L.
Hell.
Sacramento, definitely L. I'm going to just say it.
So 0-3. Ooh.
They could probably beat Sac. They probably will beat Sac. They could beat Sac, bro.
At Phoenix, game 4.
I think they can beat Sac. I think they can beat Sac.
They could
I
beat Sac.
think we can split with Phoenix. We can split with Phoenix. I think.
I think the Minnesota game going to be tough, though. The Minnesota first game going to be tough. But
that's an L. That's an L.
Yeah, that's an L, yeah.
Game 5 at Cleveland.
They need to win that Minnesota game for Magic Johnson, man. They said we're doing this for Magic.
Shit.
This for Irvin.
At Cleveland.
L.
L. At Toronto.
They'll beat Toronto. They'll beat Detroit. And
Toronto
they may be able to beat.
Detroit.
They may be able to beat. And they'll be able to beat Memphis possibly. But when they play against Philly, that might be their biggest challenge that they go up against.
You telling them, bro? With John's playing, hell no.
That's what I'm saying. What's that 3-7?
You remember that? Remember that sick block he had where his cast looked like he got shot up with steroids in a rocket? Like what?
Yeah.
Bro, we talking about 3-7 possibly to start the season. Phoenix 1 win, Toronto and Detroit. Where the wins coming from?
I'm gonna be honest.
To start the season.
Yeah.
Before we go to the next team, I'm gonna say they're a playing team. Playing.
I can't disagree.
I can't blame you, bro.
Playing.
7-8 playing team. Best.
I think they're. I think as long as LeBron is there,
Yeah,
as long
they're gonna have a
they're
chance every time.
But who they're gonna be?
Come
I
on
think
now.
they're in the 9th or 10th spot, man. I just don't see I don't know,
It's a hard fight.
to the point about D'Lo, does LeBron threaten to trade? Because anytime D'Lo gets threatened by a trade, he goes out there and balls.
Bro can't guard a Paul Call though.
Yeah, you
He can't guard Paul Calls, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Well, I mean, okay, I've been in the camp, Phil. I think I told you this, but I've been in the camp for the longest that I feel like if the Lakers had never broken up, had never traded D'Lo when they drafted Lonzo, I think that duo would have been very good together.
I'm not mad at that. I would have taken
You got a
D'Lo.
facilitator, you got a scoring guard. That's a balanced team.
And
Lonzo doesn't need the ball
and
to be
defender.
effective. He can dish the ball out, and D'Lo would
That
be
Westbrook trade, bro. That Westbrook trade too.
The Westbrook trade was the most killer thing ever. Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing too that I feel like I still feel like the Lakers. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on what Chicago does, if Lonzo comes back healthy, if I'm LA, I would give him
that
a
old
call.
thing back.
Sometimes you got to.
They
I
brought
feel like
D'Lo
Lonzo
back.
as
You might
a
as well
player.
bring Lonzo back.
Guys.
Look, I feel like Lonzo as a player now could come in there and be exactly what they were looking for, barring health. Health aside,
You know me. I'm rocking my triple
Guys
B,
wearing the triple B big baller brand.
but like I feel like what they're missing. I truly feel like what they're missing is a point guard. I feel like that roster is missing a point guard.
A two-way point guard for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a guard who can facilitate, set up the offense, and can also lock somebody down. They don't have that on their roster right now. Bronny is, come on, let's be real. Bronny is not a point guard. He's an undersized two,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
if he never learns how to play point guard, then yeah, like that's just not gonna happen.
He will be in the G League though. We ain't worried about
Yeah,
that.
he's going to develop. Yeah, he's going to have to develop
That's
this
where he
year.
need to be.
He's not going to
Just
be in
said
the league.
himself.
He's not going to be playing big league games like that all year, I don't feel like.
But then you're left with D'Lo, who's kind of a point guard, but isn't really. He's more of an undersized
An
two.
off-ball guard. Mm-hmm.
Off-ball guard. Yeah, so like that like yeah, LeBron is going to be the point, but it doesn't make sense at this point in his career.
Mm-mm.
Let him be a 4 or a 3, you know. So yeah, I don't know. The Lakers, they're a team that if anybody is picking them to win the title, that's
Get drunk.
hey, turn that PS5 off and step into the real world.
1-800 gambler. Betting on that.
So yeah, playing team. The Lakers are a playing team.
Absolutely.
And that's not, I would love to see the Lakers be great, which is, as a Celtics fan, that sounds crazy. But
basketball's good. When Lakers and
basketball
Celtics
is good when the Lakers and Celtics are the best teams.
That's another problem I have. I want to face y'all in the finals, bro. I want to be like the old days. I want that though.
That's
what
I'm so right now.
I'm glad the Celtics are good because I'm like, if my Lakers are good and then y'all are good, that's a finals matchup, bro.
Like,
I want that.
I'd rather be Steve in the 2000 early 2010s.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I've been
Celtics
literally the last like I want to say like the last 11 to 12 years, this is the nicest I've ever been with the Lakers. Like I don't hate them anymore. And I miss that. I miss the hate. I miss
the Kobe days.
Yeah, like I miss the
Kobe and Gasol.
I miss the rivalry, man. I really do. Like I mean, like
I do.
Yeah.
I have too
That's
many
when
Lakers
basketball was
friends in
fun,
my
bro. I'm
circle.
telling you.
I have
Those
too many
matchups
Lakers
were
friends in
tough.
my circle. And I'm like, bro, I want y'all to get y'all shit together because you guys are too nice of a team. You're too great of an organization to still be in this, this kind of funk. And I know they won in 2020,
That's a long
but
time ago.
Yeah, now's one time, almost half a decade ago now.
About 4 or 5 years going in now.
Yeah, this decade's going.
They broke up that team for no reason.
No reason.
All right, let's get to the next team. We got the Valley, the Phoenix Suns. That's also near you. It's near you, Armani. 49-33, 6th in the West. So I think this is an underrated pickup for them. They signed Tyus Jones and Monte Morris.
Yeah, I'm about to say
because they struggled with lead guards last year. Great pickups for them. Run the offense in the half court, make things easier offensively for both Book and KD. Especially Tyus Jones. This is a team that really struggled with turnovers last year. This is a team that averaged 14.1 turnovers last year, 25th in the league. And Jones had the single highest assist turnover ratio in NBA history last year. A 7.35 mark with the Wizards. Sure. He led the league in that category for 6 consecutive seasons, even before last season. This is a guy who knows how to take care of the basketball, run the offense. He's not going to get all these unforced errors. And that's what the team needs. If Booker and KD, because they're more natural scorers. They're not guys who are really one that's playmakers. They can facilitate, create for others, get you 6-7 assists per game. But their natural talent is to get buckets. So that's pretty much what they're looking for. And Tyus Jones had him, a guy, assist turnover ratio the highest in NBA history for 7 straight seasons, 6 seasons. This guy's been doing this. Yeah, I want him running my offense. If I'm them, he's the starting point guard. If he's not starting, I don't know what they're on.
No, he definitely will be.
Yeah, so
and
that's
one big fix, bro. One big fix that one big fix from I think from last season is they got to improve in clutch situations. They're one of the worst teams in clutch situations last year. Tyus Jones, to me, can solve that problem in a big way.
Yep, and he can shoot too. So this is the guy who's not just a playmaker. This guy can actually shoot the ball. You resign Mason Plumlee, you resign Royce O'Neal, Josh Okogie. You hire Mike Budenholzer as your head coach in place of Frank Vogel, who has a career defensive rating as coaching of 107.7 per Stats Muse. So I think this team, I think it'll be a little better than last year. I'm not gonna go as far as title contender, but I think they're gonna be a top. I'll say top 4 team, 5 team in the West, top 5.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Their thing last year too, they lacked a lot of depth at that guard position because you had
Yeah.
Book and Bill. And you gotta think about it too. Bradley Bill was hurt a good portion of the year, going to the beginning of the year
Always
too.
is.
So if you have a three-headed monster with Book at the two, you got Bill at the three, KD could play the four, even the three interchangeable. They got a good, solid team, and you got Yusuf Nurkic in the paint. That's
Yeah.
a solid front court right there in itself too. And then you have Tyus Jones. It just allows a lot of less stress on Book. Like for Book, and even when I was in Grand Canyon University, like in Arizona, go to their games, Book had the ball in his hands a lot to where there's opportunities where they went on that finals run when they had Chris Paul. Like the ball wasn't in his hands as much, and he was able to just set up and kill. That's all Devin Booker really needs to do is just kill. And if he doesn't have the opportunity because he has to worry about getting people set up, he got to worry about pin down screens and setting up plays and all that stuff. It causes a lot more stress and pressure on him, I feel like. But having a Tyus Jones, like DJ said, like it makes it literally like you have a floor general facilitator guard that's just going to naturally get you set up. They added Monte Morris is on that team as well. It's a good, solid backup point guard off the bench. If you don't put Book at the backup point guard spot, it's interchangeable at that guard position. Grayson Allen's a good 3-point shooter for them. Royce O'Neal's a good shooter for them as well. So they've upgraded for sure. Because last year, like everybody was looking at the Suns like, oh, they're going to be good. My thing I said about them was like depth. Like their depth wasn't that deep because it's only been three, and then Bradley Beal was hurt.
Yeah, no point guard.
They're a lot. They're in a way better position than last year. I see them as a top 5 team.
Yeah, and I kind of sucks that Frank Vogel got fired because like he kind of has the same mind. Like,
he's a good coach. He's a good coach.
Make his job.
Minded head coach. If you
Yeah,
at least gave him
that's
this
what you
team
need.
this year, see what he could do with this team before you like just let him go. Like what you gave him
After
last
1
year,
year,
the lack of a
It was a little
guard,
too
able
exciting.
to
The first 4
facilitate
years.
the half court offense. It's like you guys kind of did him dirty. Like I think you should at least give him this season, see what he could do with this team, how far you guys get, and then build off that instead of just firing him.
Budenholzer's a good coach too.
Yeah, Budenholzer is a great coach. Yeah,
So
the Bucks
they'll
did
be
him
fine.
dirty. The Bucks did him dirty when they let.
Yeah, they did. They did.
So I'm glad.
I think the thing with the Suns is that they're so top heavy. I don't doubt what they can do with their starting five. It's their bench,
Yeah,
with
for sure.
we mentioned 2 Duke guys, Plumlee, Grayson Allen, then you got Josh Okogie, Royce O'Neal's a good 3-and-D. I think that's gonna be the thing that's tough. And then I really love Bradley Beal as a player, but he can be a bit of a black hole. You know what I'm saying? He can, and Phil can attest to this, probably having seen Wizards games up close.
100%.
But he's not a guy who is gonna go out and get a lot of defensive stops. He is more, he's not really a playmaker when you compare to Booker and KD. And then that contract is no joke. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it is.
it's tough. Like they've got to cash all their chips in now. I don't know if they have the team set up to be able to do that and make a real run, because they really struggled against Denver. They really struggled against Minnesota. And those are the 2 teams that matchup wise can go bucket for bucket with them, firepower wise. I'll throw the Thunder in there too. So if they've got firepower, that trio, they can all score. Again, staying with the BBB, I think Lonzo would be the perfect point guard on a team like that. That would be.
Oh yeah.
I think Tyus Jones would be a perfect bench point guard for them, and Lonzo as the start. That team would really be doing something, because then defensively, because that's the thing, is that defensively their depth is not the greatest, and then offensively off the bench, like who's coming in there to get you a bucket when those 3 guys are out. So that's where it's like I think they're a top 4 or 5 team in the West, but I don't know if they're any higher than that, because we haven't even also seen that trio dominate as like they should too. Like they're good together, but I haven't really seen them be dominant.
KD's been cursed with big threes, bro.
Yeah, no, he has.
That's his
He
name.
has.
Bro.
Their center
He
position
has.
is thin too. Outside of Nurkic, I'm just like,
Just Nurkic.
Yeah, I'm about to say
not even playing.
who else?
when he gets in foul trouble or he's fatigued or injured, what are you gonna do? Like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
Like,
hopefully Plumlee can be that guy for them though, and
that's what I hope.
That's
hopefully. Yeah.
At least get
That's their hope.
10, 15 minutes a game.
yeah.
Like, that's all they need for him.
Yeah, around like 15, 20 minutes per game just to give Nurkic a breather, or if he's injured, stuff like that. Like, you need someone like that. You need depth at each position if you want to be a championship team. You need
Yeah,
For sure.
I
That's the
just don't.
well-rounded
I
team.
just,
yeah.
I just don't know if they have that, and they don't really. They don't have any young guys that I can think of off the top of my head that are like,
Because they've been good. They've been good
coming.
for a while, so they don't really have like those lottery picks. From,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
well, they also
And they
they've
traded all their stuff away
yeah.
to get
they've had
to
to
get
trade all
Kevin
their draft
Durant and
picks
to
KD,
get Bradley
a
Beal.
lot of
Beal.
picks. They traded it. Yeah, they traded stuff,
So
man.
that's kind of the downside to trying to win now is that you lose a lot of
So much equity.
capital to eventually build a foundation from the ground up. So yeah, I think my pick for them is 4 or 5 seed. Remain TBD as far as if they can move up.
Yeah.
And if I would say the X factor, which he's not an X factor, but I really think it comes down to whose team is it? Is it D Book's team or is it KD's team?
Yeah.
Like D-Book's reluctant to give the say this is my team because KD is a better player, but D-Book
Yeah.
more
Gotta be looking at me.
who's the leader?
They got to figure out who's the guy. They got to figure out who's the guy.
Because in 2021, and I never agree with the comparison. I'm like, I don't care that they both shoot mid-range jumpers.
The Kobe
D-Book is
comparison?
not Kobe. He's not Kobe.
He's
Stop
not Kobe,
The man-
but he's great.
No,
he's great, but
no, Kobe.
I love D-Book.
No.
Stop. Yeah.
And D-Book's a really good shooter. D-Book's a top shooting guard in the league, but he's not Kobe.
he's not.
Like,
No,
and he's a top shooting guard in the league. Like he's up there.
D-Book is like a modern Allen Houston, Rip Hamilton, which is a crazy player. Like
yeah, for sure.
Like that's
Rip
a
is
better off
solid,
the dribble,
bro.
better off the dribble than
Get to a spot.
So, like,
D-Book's just a player that's gonna. D-Book is literally the definition of a player that's gonna get to a spot, get to a shot sample. Like he's not gonna do a lot of breaking down. He's not gonna try to kill you off.
No.
And he's literally just gonna.
very
He's
efficient.
he's very efficient
very
and effective.
and effective. So that's where, like you said, that reluctance. I think this will be good because we've seen KD. KD is cool with being the number 2. Like we've seen him do it in Golden State. We've seen him do it in Brooklyn, but is D-Book going to take another leap? Is he gonna go back to that 2021 level where people were putting him in top 5 combos? That will be the biggest difference maker if they can make a push and make a run this year.
Definitely.
Are you in search of a pharmacy for all your medical needs? Check out my guy Jason Hu's Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding, located at 337 US 46 Rockaway, New Jersey, zip code 07866, serving all of New York and New Jersey. They specialize in compounding sildenafil for male erectile dysfunction, as well as semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. They come to you with an amazing delivery service, so don't worry about having to come in person. Once again, check out Skylands Pharmacy and Compounding in Rockaway, New Jersey by my guy Jason who was the first guy to buy my merch. You can call them at 973-559-7979. That's 973-559-7979. Proud partner of the DJ Sports Show.
Yeah, I agree.
So the next team we have is in the Mile High City. You got the Denver Nuggets, 57-25 last year, second in the West. Big loss. You lost Contavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP, Orlando Magic. You signed Dario Saric. You signed DeAndre Jordan. You signed Russell Westbrook after his buyout with the Jazz for the vet minimum. You drafted De'Ron Holmes, a 6'10", 6'11" big man out of Dayton to give them more size off their bench, to give Jokic a breather. And can Jamal Murray stay healthy? It's a guy who kind of struggled with injuries throughout his career, honestly. The only time he played more than 65 games in his career in a season was his second year in the league. Like, this guy has some knick-knack injuries, and he's dealt with. And then also, remember he tore his ACL that 21-22 season. He was out that whole year. He comes back the 22 the championship season. He played 65 games. Last year, he only played 59 games. And the year before he tore ACL, he played 48 games. 2019-20, 59 games. So this guy's had, he has some knick-knack injuries. He's not a guy who consistently can stay healthy. Can he stay healthy? And I know he struggled. People said they were kind of worried about him in the Olympics. He kind of struggled there in the Olympics. Man, kind of, especially with all the pieces you lost now. Monte Moore's not there anymore. KCP's not there anymore. Who else left? What's his name that was on Brooklyn? That was Bruce. I forgot his name.
Bruce Brown. 2 seasons ago.
You guys
they lost some pieces. They've lost pieces.
Yeah, they lost some. Man, the last 2 off seasons have been detrimental to their chances of wanting to continue to be a title team. I I think Denver, it's calls for Jokic to have to carry the load even more. Especially if Murray's going to look like how he did in the Olympics. Oh, brother.
It was rough, bro.
Yeah, Jamal Murray did not show up.
I'm just like,
SGA
I'm
and Jamal Murray were supposed to be a backcourt tandem. Yeah, it was bad. He did not play
As
good
a
at
Laker
all.
fan, Jamal getting my nerves.
That Canadian team should have that Canadian team should have met us in the finals. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie.
Yeah, he didn't show up. He didn't show up.
They were my pick to go to play the U.S. in the finals.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, now
Yeah, Canada.
Denver. I have so I'm gonna say this. I've got Denver to come out the West this year. However,
Really?
I do.
Really? I ain't doing that.
Oh, yo, dealing with another hot take.
I don't know about
What
that.
Jamal Murray you
bro.
gonna get though?
No,
What Jamal Murray you gonna get?
That's the thing. I think Jokic is like I've just had to accept it. You know, I've fought it, especially with him rocking Melo's number. I bring this up with anybody who's a Nuggets fan or a Jokic fan. I'm like, look, the man can ball. He's special. I would argue he's the best player in the league, which it's nasty to say for me. You know what I'm saying? But he's like that. There's very few defenses that can truly stop and contain him. Now the Lakers in 2020, they did show the formula, but they ruined that for themselves. But you guys were the last team that showed and
you just gotta throw bodies on. You gotta throw physical big. You gotta throw physical bigs on them.
You gotta throw physical and athletic bigs that can play him up in his
out and run the floor.
So the Timberwolves did to him. Exactly. Oh man, the Timberwolves, they were being physical with him. They had a lot of athletic bodies.
In Minnesota,
you just have to throw bodies on him and have a chargeable sword.
Carl did an excellent job on Jokic. Nas Reed, like they really
did.
They saw the blueprint. Now Cat
is
at least to make it like.
And now Cat is not. And now Cat is not there anymore, so that plays. That plays a big role.
Coming up soon.
So
yeah,
with those Nuggets, they still have one of the best starting fives in the league, and assuming everybody is healthy, you know they're going to produce. You know they're going to play well. They're well coached, and they've I'm very high on the Russell pickup. I think Russell is going to be the perfect energy for them into that bench lineup because there's a lot of questions that they've got right now in their bench lineup. It's a lot of young guys, a lot of guys, like a guy like Christian Braun who had he played well when he got the opportunity. But
Watson.
He might end up being a starter this year too because they lost KCP. So Christian Braun's going to slide into that 2 guard.
Braun got to step up.
Yeah. So I think Russ will be I think Russ will have a positive impact and influence on that team. I'm very excited to see what happens with Michael Porter Jr. though, because yes, all right, I've been on the 2017 raid, but Ayton was the number one player, but that was the best player
Porter was
that dude, yeah.
Pre back injury, that dude looked like he was. Yeah. He looked like he was going to be the number one pick.
He looked like KD and McGrady mixed.
Yeah, that's KD. Yep, KD, bro. Yeah. Great comparison.
Yeah.
With some Klay Thompson sprinkled in there.
He was nice, bro. He was nice, bro. Nathan out. Yeah.
Filthy. Dude was filthy. I remember watching his mixtapes going, oh my God.
I remember doing a dunk from the free throw line, like a win, like,
this dude is my age?
Wow, this is coming to the NBA. I was like, the NBA.
Porter Jr. never misses when he plays against the Lakers.
I remember in 2010s, I was like, the 2020s NBA is going to be crazy. And it has been. The talent. Oof.
Oh, yeah.
He's good,
so
bro.
I think if he takes a big step, and he becomes very consistent as the number 2 because Jamal Murray is, like you said, we don't know which version we're going to get. Yeah. So if he steps up to be like the caliber of player that everybody has wanted him and hoping him to be, I still think the Nuggets are the team to be out West, personally.
He has all-star potential. There's no reason for me he shouldn't be in that conversation. So
MPJ talent-wise could be an all-NBA player.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
Talent-wise, for sure. At the 3 spot, too. He's in a good position, bro, for sure.
4 spot, yeah.
He got that jumper. Can't leave him open.
He's automatic when he's hot, bro.
Knockdown shooter, 40+%.
So,
he's not much of a playmaker because as soon as he gets the ball, he shoots.
It's shot, bro.
No.
It's going up.
He
Going
has
up,
the
dog.
ball.
He's going up.
Tunnel vision, guy. Tunnel vision. I don't see y'all. No.
He said, "Nah,
He just
I
sees
see this.
basket.
I
That's
see
it.
me in this basket."
I'm in a dark cave. Where y'all at?
That's all he
Yeah,
sees.
So, so I think that's the thing, though. I still think the Nuggets are the team to beat out West. Yes, Minnesota defended them well, but I think that cat loss was the biggest loss for the
I agree. That
Timberwolves.
was stupid.
So before we go to the next team, where we got the Nuggets, I got them top 4 or 5 in the West. Top 4.
Top four. Top four.
Yeah.
Oh, I got them top 2.
Oh, you bugging. You bugging.
I don't know about all that.
You got them over OKC. You got them over Timberwolves. You got them over Dallas. Like,
I think OKC. I think OKC is the team is the other
the
team
next 3
that
teams we
that's
have are
gonna
Minnesota,
threaten.
Dallas, and OKC. Before we finish off, you got
Yeah. I think OKC is the team that's right underneath.
Okay.
Or over. I think it's gonna come down to those two.
Interesting.
I'm mad at that.
So next team we got we got the Timberwolves, Minnesota Timberwolves. That was a terrible impersonation for a wolf. I
Yeah,
tried.
what the hell is that?
Oh. Got the alpha, Anthony Edwards, man. 56-26 last season, 3rd in the West. Trade away Karl Towns in a blockbuster deal. Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and Detroit Pistons first round pick. I reacted to it yesterday. I did not like the trade. We're going to get to it soon, but Randle, he's been all NBA forward.
Knicks won that trade.
Averaged 24 points last season, 47% from the field, 9.2 rebounds, 5 assists. Shot 40% from 3 only one time in his career in 2020-21 season, that COVID year. They lost Kyle Anderson, which I think is going to be a big loss for them. They lost Monte Morris. They lost Jordan McLaughlin. Those guys were key, and especially Jordan McLaughlin defensively on the perimeter. Oh man, the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're also there's a reason I looked it up while they were kind of traded Cat, because they were going to be over the second apron if they didn't deal him, as he's entering the year of his 4-year, $224 million supermax deal, and he's getting paid $55 million annually, and he makes up 30% of the salary cap. So it was like, damn, it's like, damn, only do it this. Yeah, it's a lot of money. So I'm just like, but then again, I'm just like, and Towns has a cap hit of $49.2 million this season coming up, and a $61 million player option after the 27-28 season. When I saw this trade, I'm like, Timberwolves, what are you doing? Ant-Man, I'm scratching my head right now, because first of all, you trade away, by numbers, the best shooting big man of all time by Cat, even though I think Dirk is still the greatest shooting big man.
Yeah, so Dirk.
Number-wise, Cat has probably better numbers than Dirk. You trade away him was the ultimate stretch 4. He played him at the 4. He took pressure off Ant in scoring the ball. Now you're putting more pressure on Ant to have to score the ball. Julius Randle is a great player, but he thinks
he's 6'3".
And his health too, bro. He's always hurt too.
He's hurt. He doesn't have the best attitude. He's a ball stopper. He's a guy who likes to pound the ball in the paint. You have Rudy Gobert down there, and he's not a stretch guy like Cat. That's going to clog up the lane more. Anthony Edwards, he's a guy, arguably the most athletic player in the league. Now he can't use his athleticism at the same rate to go downhill and dunk on defenders or finish at the rim and get to the line like he did last season. Now the lane's going to be more cloudy. You're not going to have those opening driving lanes. Defenses are going to have an easier time strategizing against you. It's just, it made no sense to me. Dante DiVincenzo, I kind of like that. It gives them their bench more depth.
Yeah, that's a good pickup.
This Randall part, I can't read my mind. It just makes no sense. He's not a guy who's an elite shooter. If he could shoot the ball, then okay, it makes sense. But I think you got worse offensively and then also defense. I know Cat's not an elite defender, but at least he had more size to him, more length.
He's a 7-footer.
He's a 7-foot guy with a longer wingspan than T-Rex arm Julius Randle. Like, what are you doing? Like, it just doesn't make any sense on both ends. I feel like they got worse.
I was not high on the move at all, which is why I don't want to put my stock and chips on the Timberwolves. While I think they are a team that, as far
they got
as
a little lower to me now after that trade.
As far as core, as far as like their foundation goes, they built well, and they're a team that's on the up. Don't get it twisted. But I think this present year, as far as what they're gonna do, and given the roster that they have, I think there's going to be a slight regression. I don't think they're making a finals run unless, keyword unless. Now, I love to be proven wrong, but unless Ant, continues the momentum that he's built from the Olympics.
You got to have a Dwayne Wade 06 year, bro. You got to. That's what
he's got a
Pat Garn now. Like, that was the only other guy who could give you 25 plus a game.
Yeah, Ant has to have a
an '06 either '06 Kobe or '06 Wade type of year this year.
Yeah.
That's the only way that they're going to be able to remain afloat and be one of the best teams in the Western Conference because, I think Naz Reid. I'm very high on Naz Reid, but
he's good.
He's got big shoes to fill. Whether he plays at the 4 or 5, I don't know. And then obviously with Randall is not a guy who is consistent, and he's a bit of a ball stopper. I mean, I like Julius Randle, but I mean it's just the fact.
Yeah,
You know
he doesn't move the ball stopper.
But a player that I am very interested to see is Rob Dillingham. I think
Talk about it.
I think he's going to be a big addition to that bench because there was one thing that I noticed last year was that their bench didn't have much scoring. They didn't have much firepower.
Mm-hmm.
They had guys who were good defenders and good shooters, but they didn't really have anybody out there who could get a bucket when Ant was out on the perimeter. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Mike Conley is still
got a great mentor.
Yeah, Mike Conley is still a great veteran point guard. He's been playing for a long time, which I mean, I remember when he got drafted, but it's wild that him and Horford and KD are the only players left from that '07 class. But it puts into perspective, right? You know, but I remember that. I remember the draft very, very well, and I think that Minnesota is a team where if everything goes, it's kind of cliche to say, but if everything goes right for them, then they can make a finals run. They're in my opinion a top 3 team, but I don't have them in that 2 spot. I don't have them in that 2 or 1 spot because I think they got worse with this trade. Before, if you asked me a couple days ago, like literally, you asked me a couple days ago, I would have put them in that 2. I would have put them in that 2 or 1 spot. But this trade, I think this cat trade is going to be, it's going to have a big impact on them.
The thing you got to think about too, losing Cat, you lose a lot of versatility on the outside because Gobert's not going to shoot the ball. Julius Randle can't shoot the ball.
No.
Big Jelly, which is Naz Reid, like he's good, but he's not going to be shooting the ball like that.
He's
so
not.
You really have a situation now where you're going to have to force a lot of more opportunities from your guards, and adding Rob Dillingham, and then also too another guy that's really good is Terrence Shannon Jr. out of Illinois that they drafted as well.
Yes.
And I got to watch both of them play in summer league. Terrence Shannon Jr. was playing really good basketball. Has a little bit of inconsistencies when it comes to the 3-point shot, but can score. And so they did for sure upgrade the backcourt side of things, but that trade was really, really detrimental for the fact about to be able to space the floor out because Gobert's just going to be in the paint, and that's good. But at the same time, it kind of cripples Anthony Edwards' opportunities to try to get baskets because you're always going to have the center inside now. It's literally like playing 2K. If you're on a build that can't shoot the ball, your center that's guarding you is literally going to be in the paint. You're not going to be able to get a lot of good opportunities. So it's going to be kind of different to see how it works. I think out of the 2, though, DiVincenzo is a good pickup because he does play with a really competitive edge and can impact winning in a lot of ways. But the Randall pickup's going to have to be something that's experimented. But I don't know. I don't see that going well for them going into this new season. It's they're not going to regress, but it's going to become very. I don't think they're going to make no uphill climb from that for sure.
No,
not in the West. I think Anthony Edwards, this one-on-one situation, when he does one-on-one, I think that paint being clogged, he's gonna be like, "Yo, what? I have no space, man. I can't even. I can't use my pogo sticks to go dunk on somebody. Like these guys are always down there, man. Because Rudy Gobert, you could try to play him at the 3, put him out on the 3-point. No, nobody's going out there to try to close.
Nobody's going out there, bro.
That ain't happening. When he made that fadeaway jumper one time against the Denver Nuggets, everybody was like, "Oh my!"
Oh yeah.
Wemby?
Yeah, Wemby.
Rudy Wembanyama.
I'm like, is that Dirk disguised as Rudy Gobert? I'm like, what is this?
Hey, yo,
I never hit a jumper in his life.
That was so disrespectful, bro.
I said, what? I said, Jehovah's.
This was at a heart attack, bro.
I'm like, get out of here, bro. And then I'm just like, nah, their half-court offense is going to be way more predictable for defenses now. It's just going to be they lost a lot. I know Randall's good, but he's not as versatile as Cat offensively. He's just not. Because he doesn't
like State. transition offense is going to be very important for them this year, especially with the younger guards that they got now too. They're going to be able to run plays a lot better, but it's going to be a challenge, like you said, on that interior side. The spacing is really messed up.
So I got the Wolves finishing around the 3rd, 4th seed. I think they took a little bit after this trade. I think they took a little hit for me. Before this trade, I had them top 2.
Yeah, before the trade, because
I had
they
them
literally had the
OKC
tools.
top 2 before the trade.
Mm-hmm. We got to think
But I
too.
think
This is Anthony Edwards. Like last year was his deep run that he made, and so this jump from this past season going into this season, like we were going to see, I feel like a lot more out of him this year.
Yep.
To where they could have rode that momentum. So I don't know. This trade literally messed it up so bad, bro. Like,
I don't know
it's
how
bad, bro. I can't explain it. It's bad.
well,
Whitecap. Carly Towns, he's a really talented dude. Like,
he's a
he
good
can
guy.
shoot the ball.
I'm excited to
So we'll
see
see.
what Ant does because I rock with Ant heavy, like heavy. And one of my boys out in Atlanta played against him at a camp, and he said they were going bucket for bucket. And he said, like, even though they beat us, like he's like, I'll be able to tell my grandkids one day that like I went for bucket with him at a camp.
All right.
And my boy can hoop, so it was like, nah, I believe it. But with Ant, like, how do I put this nicely? He talks like he's gotten like 5 rings already. You know what I'm saying? And it's part of what makes
the Atlanta swag.
It's part of what makes him the enigmatic personality, someone who you can't turn away from.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of what makes him so dynamic and exciting is that he has that attitude that it's like the attitude era for wrestling, but it's like he's got the attitude of like a player from the past. But in today's era, today's style. And that's great. And I love it. Like I really do, because I love those kind of players. I love, what I'm saying, the cocky players. But you gotta back it up on the court. I did not see the same player that was talked up as this is the new Jordan. I didn't see that same player in the Dallas series. I saw, and that kind of gets overlooked, in all the praise for him.
Yeah.
He's earned and he's earned and absolutely warranted. He's worthy of the praise. But when push came to shove, he got shut down. And if he had put up a better fight, I think it would hold different. And then now you're kind of going on the tour and saying guys wasn't skilled. I'm not letting him slide for that because it was just a very ignorant comment. And it's like
I didn't like that either. Like you gotta respect the history of the game.
You gotta respect the game, young man. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta respect the presence.
Like you're the hottest thing out for sure.
You're not benefiting.
You're a star.
Mm-mm.
You're not benefiting.
But like respect the game. But also like if anything, you really do need to go back and learn because clearly some of the deficiencies that showed up in the Minnesota series, in the Dallas series, if you go back and watch film on Kobe or Jordan or D Wade or any of these other great shooting guards, you would see where they were able to make those adjustments and where they were able to make a different impact in order to get to that ultimate, pinnacle pantheon of winning a title. And the expectation now with Ant, because of how much he talked, is it's title or bust. So if he doesn't get to the finals at least this year, I don't want to put that expectation on him. But
trade? I don't know about that.
It's title or bust for Ant because that's just
career.
The way he's marketed himself out to the media and to the world, like he has to be able to prove and show that because
he has to.
And another KG.
He's only 23. He got time. He's only 23.
He has time, and the thing about him too is that back to Dylan's point, like you watch that series against Dallas, he was tired, bro. Like down the stretch, he was gassed out.
He brought in Kyrie. He was.
This is where you need
to. He was talking crazy about
that matchup, though.
Yeah,
he wanted that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted it. He talked crazy, and then Kyrie went out and cooked him.
Exactly.
And then they made the adjustments, started to lean onto him and stuff like that, so he can have more energy offensively because he's their primary scorer. That takes a lot out of you. Remember that.
And that takes a lot of energy out of a player. So he needs to be able to shift his mindset to the team rather than just on himself because Jaden McDaniels is that lock guy that they have on that team that needs to be on that dude. You have dudes like that. You have Nikhil Alexander Walker is a good defender. You need to have those defensive minded guys guarding those people. Like, I understand you want the hype and you want that moment, but come down the stretch where your team needs you offensively and you're not available because you're tired or you're gassed or you want to set a lazy pick and roll screen and you just shoot up a shot. That's not going to work every time.
No,
against a team like Dallas.
no.
So
And
that's something that needs to be taken.
I mean, he said they asked him about the MJ comparison. He said, "Well, I'm a better shooter," and it's like, sure, statistically, you are a better shooter, but anybody watching knows you are not the same effective shooter as Michael.
Exactly.
Because
either, even if he was taller. Flu game, bro. Come on, bro.
Talk about
Exactly. So he's back.
You know,
literally, bro.
He's backed himself. I love again. I rock with Ant heavy, but if I was one of Ant's homies, I would tell him, bro, you have backed yourself into a corner.
My manager, I'm like, yo, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, shut up, you know. But like,
Randy Johnson clearly don't like him anymore.
Oh yeah, no,
but like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For that, there's clips.
You were. It's like because it's a lot of old head fans that really loved Ant. You know what I'm saying? They really because he reminded them of players from the past.
They soured.
Yeah, and so it's like you're if you're gonna step into a villain role, which I think that's a dumb way to do it. Personally, I if anything, you should step into a villain role as a player, like be a killer out there on the court. That's how you. That's what Kobe did. The reason why Kobe was hated was because
he would kill.
In addition to being so aloof with the media, he was a killer. Every team he played against, he killed. So if you're going to set and brand yourself up like that, then you need to go out there and perform like it. It's not a question of talent. It's a question of consistency, execution, and maturity. Maturity more than anything, because there were times in that Dallas series where his body language looked just absolutely
defeated.
awful.
He looked defeated, bro.
He looked defeated. He was looking very pouty. You know, he was looking like, you know, like to Phil's point about DeAndre Ayton. When things weren't going his way, I saw that same kind of look in his eye. And you're the franchise guy. And you're not only the franchise guy, people are looking at you like you're the chosen one. You're the American superstar You're the American superstar that we've been looking for all these years to fill once LeBron,
Steph.
KD, and Steph all retire. You know? So he's put himself into a corner that I think if he could go back, I'm sure he would do things just a little different, because now you set the expectation of title or bust. So you put exactly. That's the best way to put it. He put a target on his back that I don't think was necessary. I don't think was needed. But now it's time for him to show and prove. And if he proves, then hey, then I'm not going to agree with his takes. So, like, I still think he needs to go back and watch some old footage.
Humble yourself, clearly, man. Humble yourself.
Humble yourself. You know, I love the confidence, I do, but you gotta know what you're talking about.
You know your history,
There's nothing, because like it'd be one thing if he was like, I've watched them and I feel like I can hang. I feel like I'm up there with them. Okay, all right, young buck, you think you that guy? Cool. But to admit, well, I didn't really watch them, but I know I'm better.
That's just
ignorant. That's
crazy. I got them all.
That's just prideful ignorance right there. That, you know, like, I'm sorry, and Jordan would tell you.
So you're telling me Hakeem Olajuwon had no skill, bro? Like,
Penny had no skill. Grant Hill had no skill. Bird had no.
Come on, bro.
Kevin Johnson,
T-Mac, all of them, bro. Like,
there's so many
talented guards.
Garnett was pissed too, bro. He went off.
No, and I saw Gilbert try to, like, Gilbert was carrying his water and trying so hard to give him an out. I'm like, stop it, Gilbert. Stop.
Come on now.
Like, you trying so hard to be the cool uncle to all the young kids, and you look like a fool doing this. Like, bro, grow up. Because he thinks, if he thinks that about that era, just imagine what he thinks about your era. So it's like, no. Like,
That was the one thing that I was always a little iffy on with Ant was that it seemed like the love for the game wasn't there. He's to me, he's always struck me as football is really where his heart is. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he like deep down, I think football is his true like number one passion. He's just such a talented player and athlete that
Go to
You gotta
basketball.
take where the money's at.
Yeah,
You gotta take where the money's
yeah,
at.
the money, health wise,
Or
it makes more
guaranteed money.
sense. But
Guaranteed money, you feel me?
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
He's a
but
Safer
staple.
sport.
that was the thing. That was the thing that in this pre-draft process, I did not like how like, and I say this as a nonchalant guy myself, but he was a little too cool for school for me. If I'm
He
drafting
started
you
questioning his work
to be my
ethic. He's
number
like, I
one
don't know if
player,
this kid really works hard. And he said that's
That's,
how
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I
was
was-
Steve
making
Kerr
him
and the
to want to work
Warriors said
hard.
about him. That's
Yeah.
why the Warriors didn't draft him. They were skeptical on his work ethic and how he was because they thought he
I mean,
wasn't
he's the
taking
first
that serious
overall
as he
anyway, so they
was.
couldn't draft him.
Yeah,
They couldn't
exactly.
first overall.
but they would have. But best believe, if they had a good workout with him and a good impression, they would have moved everybody possible to get
Oh
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
The talent is unquestionable.
Coming out
That's
of
not
Georgia,
the
he
issue.
was that dude. He was that guy coming out of Georgia. Literally, in that 1 year he played there. Like he was that guy, bro.
So it's like
He
it's
stood
not a
out.
question of the ability, but it's a question of the attitude. It's a question of his mindset, and I think he's let too much outside stuff going on. The stuff. He's messing with. You want to talk about hustling backwards? You would want to Chief Keef's 4 baby mamas? What?
Oh
Like, bro,
Lord.
come on, man.
Stop it.
Like that is the last judgment right
We'll
there.
move it. Okay.
That is the last judgment. So I just want to say with Ant, I really want him to be that guy. I've been pushing for him to be that kind of guy, but I think that the expectation now again is title or bust. That
Mhm.
he has put himself into that corner, and hey, if you're gonna put yourself in that corner, young man, you better be able to jab, and weave.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are gonna be like, well, maybe this guy isn't worth that kind of push. Maybe he's not the top American player.
Hey, if it's not him, they'll push Cooper Flag. So, hey,
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
say, yeah, okay.
Or Jason Tatum,
We all got the. What you say?
I said, or Jason Tatum, who's
Nah,
quietly
you
been
know,
out
push
here,
Cooper Flag over too.
who's quietly out
Hey,
here
you know
Tatum
they
making
as
things
hell, bro.
happen.
Tatum mad,
that
bro.
dude.
The defending NBA champion.
Those are
They
that
got the
dude. They would do
Celtics
what
gear
they did
right
with
now,
Zion.
bro.
He tells that dude,
You
you're gonna
said
do the
what?
same thing like they did with Zion. Oh, this guy is he's a diaper dandy. Yo, I love. Yo,
Yeah. Oh my God.
who says that again? That's Boom. I forgot his name. Damn, he's a diaper dandy. I forgot his name. He's a legendary.
Is that Vitel?
Yes, Dick
Yeah,
Vitale. Dick
yeah,
Big
Vitale.
Vitale, yeah,
Yeah.
college
He's
basketball.
unbelievable.
Yeah, ESPN. Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Are you serious? I love it.
What are we witnessing? Boom shakalaka. No. But all jokes aside,
So we all got
I
the
think
Bulls top 3 in the West. Top 3. I
yes.
got them.
Yeah.
top
Yeah,
3.
yeah.
Top.
Yeah, if not for
Top 3.
the Towns fair, I would have had them top 2. But all right, we got 2 more teams left. Next team, the Dallas Mavericks, MetLife Fieldhouse.
Oh no, that's the last team.
No, we got the Thunder after.
Okay, Thunder out. That's the
Oh,
last
you're
one.
right. Never mind. Spoke too soon.
Dallas Mavericks, 50-32, 5th in the West. You signed the splash brother, Klay Thompson. I know Dylan and Armani like Bay's brother right there.
Stupid.
Stop that out, You trade away Tim Hardaway for Quentin Grimes. You lose Derrick Jones to the Clippers. You get Spencer Dinwiddie back. He's back with the Mavericks again. You pick up the NCAA's leading shot blocker and undrafted rookie 7'5" Jamarian Sharp. And my question is, how will Klay look in a new system with Kyrie and Luka? And I think their perimeter defense is going to take a hit with Derrick Jones now gone to the Clippers. Because he was the one guarding the top wings and guards. Because Kyrie and Luka, they're not, they're defensive liabilities. They're maybe offensive backcourt, but defensively, they leave a lot to be desired. So, how are you feeling about the Dallas Mavericks, Douglas?
I'm excited for Klay, bro. I think he's gonna thrive. I think his mood is better, bro. You can just see he was down in the dumps.
Yo, if you see his Instagram, he looked way happier.
Yeah, bro. He looked at peace,
last
man.
2 years, he looked miserable.
I think we got to talk about you offensively from him.
Yeah.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, DJ, with the Derrick Jones Jr. loss. That is a big loss.
So I'm not talking about it enough. When they lost him, I said, I don't know if they're going to get back to the final.
Luka is
He was a ball
rotisserie chicken on the perimeter.
Remember, Clay is not the defender he used to be after the injuries. If Clay was that
And
guy,
no,
then I'll be like, okay,
so-
at least they got Clay Thompson.
So
They had
that's
Clay
my
Thompson.
thing.
I'll be like, okay, losing Derrick Jones
Yeah.
ain't a big deal, but ever since after those injuries, he ain't the same defender.
But that's where
So I thought
that's where it's tough for me. Like I feel like the momentum that they built up from their run, I think it's very much still there. Luka's one of the best players in the league by far. Generational talent.
crazy.
Kyrie is one of the most skilled players that we'll ever see. It's an absolute gift and joy to watch him play basketball.
Privilege.
But it is. But defensively on the perimeter, I'm very skeptical.
Yeah.
Is Jaden Hardy that caliber defender? I haven't seen that from him yet, so I don't know. Josh Green, like I don't know if their young guys are ready to fill Derrick Jones' spot on the perimeter.
Would he step up defensively? I don't know. He's 6'6", long. I don't know. That's the thing.
We haven't seen it, bro.
He got less athletic too. Derrick Jones is a freaking. They call him what? Airplane mode? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that was
airplane mode. You got wrecked.
You still got PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, who
he just big too.
They were both instrumental in them getting to the finals and them being the 4 or 5 defending the bigs.
Them, they don't beat the Timberwolves. I said that.
But no, absolutely. But you need that wing defense because you're going against a lot of very talented wing talent in the West. I would argue that there's probably the most amount of wing talent in the West. So it's like in a playoff series, I just don't know with them either. I feel like Dallas offensively is going to be fine. That's not going to be an issue at all. They're going to. I think Clay is going to have a. Maybe it's a hot take, but maybe not. I think Clay could still have an All-Star year. I think he very well could.
He's going to get a lot of opportunities to score the ball with Kyrie and Luka there too.
Luka and Kyrie are going to.
He's not going to have to worry.
You got double Luka, bro. Swing it to
perfect.
Open opportunities. He's going to be wide open. But now he's
just going to be wide open
with Steph. Like Steph, it was just him. But now he has a Kyrie too added to that. So he's a third. Defense got to worry about the best offensive backcourt we've ever seen, who draw a double all the time. He's gonna be wide open. Hey, I'm one of the greatest.
He's gonna be wide open every time.
He's gonna have so many wide open looks.
I expect him to have some career things there, like percentage wise.
So I still think Clay has enough in the tank to be able to be, because I mean people forget he averaged like 17, 18.
Yeah, people act like he was like washed up, like he's averaging like
for him,
like it's crazy.
For him, obviously that's like that's not his peak, but man, a lot of players would kill to have a 17 and 18 points per game season on their hands. So
38% from two.
You said what?
And remember, Stephen A. says all the time, Clay had a down year shooting wise for him.
Yeah.
But a lot of dudes would love to shoot like Clay did last year.
Yeah.
Dream.
You shot like what?
Something like that?
It shot like in that 37, 38 range.
In that 30 range area. Yeah.
It's still elite by NBA standards. Like
38.7. 38.7.
For Clay,
that's a drop off. Yeah.
For Clay, that's a drop off. For anybody else, that's a
drop off. Clay or Steph.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but literally any other player, you're like, oh, that guy's a threat from 3, man. You can't let him get a shot. So I think Dallas has what it takes. But I'm gonna say this now: basketball is different than football, but a comparable situation I can think of is the Bengals, right? Joe Burrow makes it to the Super Bowl, beats Patrick Mahomes. He says, title window is always open as long as I'm there. They have not gone back to the Super Bowl. One thing that doesn't get taken into consideration with basketball, just because of there's more games, there's more playoff games, but we've seen plenty of teams go to a finals and lose and never come back.
Yeah,
we've seen
the Magic. The
Magic.
Wow,
we saw the Suns do that. We saw the Suns do that in 2021. And we've even seen teams win and never get
Milwaukee.
back. We saw what happened.
Milwaukee.
Katie and Russ. Oh man.
Yeah. They ain't never been back. Yeah.
So how does Dallas get to that next level where they're holding the trophy this time around? And it's not going to be easy for them going into playoffs, especially if their defense on the wings, because I love Kyrie and I think Luka's a phenomenal player, but neither of those guys are doing anything defensively. Let's just keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest question. Can they regain? Can they continue their momentum? But can they get back to the finals for one? It's a successful year, I think, if they make it to the finals by all accounts, because very few teams come back to the finals after losing.
Mm-hmm.
Very few teams.
And another guy.
And the teams that did, like the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers lose in 08, go back. They go three straight years, 09, 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was with Kobe, right?
Different breed.
Kobe,
one
of the
very
GOATs.
Different, yeah.
Kobe, one of the GOATs, one of the greatest two-way players of all time. Is Luka a great two-way player? We haven't seen it so far. So I don't want to cash a lot of chips on them, which is why I don't have them in that 1 to 2 spot.
I have them
but
at 3.
I think they can be better than Minnesota as well.
Because Luka
is better than Minnesota.
Luka is a monster. That dude's a statistical monster, bro. That dude. And then you add to that. It's like, and then Clay's going to, and people forget, Clay's going to be internally motivated. Golden State did him dirty.
Oh, yeah.
To prove himself,
Clay plays with a chip on his shoulder.
He's like, oh, let me do me dirty. Watch this. Watch this.
Yeah.
Clay plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I think that ultimately they're in that 3 to 4 range. They could push for that 2, maybe even 1. If everything goes well, like on paper, if everything goes well, the Mavericks could be the number 1 seed in the West, and they could have one of the best records in the entire league. I feel like they've put the pieces together really well, but the perimeter defense is what I'm very worried about, and just them not avoiding the stench of losing in the finals.
Yeah.
Especially the way they did, because it wasn't a question on who was going to win. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Celtics fan, but like there's
too much firepower on the Celtics end. There's way too much firepower.
Way too much. Mm-hmm. And what was it, Game 3 that they won, and you had a couple Mavs fans, we're going to make a run. They're going to
that was so stupid, bro.
I want to see if Derek Lively could expand his game a little bit. Like,
that's very important.
We forgot to name Lively, but
stretch the range out, show some jumper. You showed it when you were in high school that you could stretch the floor. College, you didn't show it. NBA, you haven't shown it, but high school, I saw you were shooting the 3 so you can stretch the floor. I want to see you do that. Spread the floor out, stretch it out, make it easier for Kyrie and Luka to get downhill, have lanes and all that, so they go one-on-one.
They're going to have to depend on him. They're going to have to depend on him, PJ Washington, and Gafford, just like last year, to be those 3 anchors inside. But with PJ Washington, you got a little bit more versatility that he could be out on the wing. Picking up Najee Marshall, hopefully he can be that guy. But
I like that pickup.
Losing, like we keep saying it, but losing a Derrick Jones Jr., because that was their primary defender, and it's going to be a challenge. But if Najee Marshall could fill that spot, and then Jaden Hardy too off the bench, being a young guy, just lock in defensively and do what he has to do, they can be pretty effective on the defensive end. It's just, I've seen watching Luka play, bro, when Luka's like guarding people, it's toast, bro. Like, he's done, bro. Like, literally toast.
He's cooked.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, like they were even Drew Holiday, like they were just killing him, bro. But I know how Luka's probably thinking, like, I have to be effective offensively for my team. But even though too, in the finals, Luka wasn't shooting the best from 3-point line at all. And I think that comes down to the simple fact, like, he needs to find ways to get his other guys involved and get him set up for better opportunities. Yeah, he's going to get his assist, and yeah, he's going to dump the ball off in the paint to the lob threat, but he has to be able to get other people involved rather than him just shooting hella dumb shots. Or not even dumb shots necessarily, but just shots that it's very difficult for him to even have to even put up when he could just kick it to the wide open man weak side. So it's going to be interesting because I really do like this Dallas team, and I really think that they can make another run. It's just a matter of how, like you said, how they're going to match up in the backcourt. Because Kyrie and Luka, like, they're very talented offensively, but defensively, that's crucial. It's very crucial.
And to your point, Armani, like, it doesn't get taken into consideration enough that Luka's play style is very heliocentric, and it looks great statistically. You know what I'm saying?
Reminds you of
Like
James
Efficiency
Harden.
wise,
with
though,
Harden,
efficiency
they
wise,
put
it's not the best at all.
Reminds
no,
you of
It's not.
because
Houston
he's got the
Harden.
like
Houston Harden.
Yeah,
he's
that's
Houston
a
Harden.
that's
No,
that's
and
yeah.
people are like,
You're
oh, like
rounding out DJ
he's a
literally,
Yeah.
literally.
he's a triple double threat. I would hope so. He has the
But
ball
unlike Harden,
Oh,
he
yeah.
85%.
actually shows up in the playoffs. That's why he actually shows.
That is,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
He's been the
I
greatest
will
playoff
give.
performance we've ever
but
seen.
Yeah,
He's been killing it.
yeah,
he's played well in the playoffs so far. So I will give him
yeah.
you know,
He has the
props
second
on
highest
that.
point per game average in playoff history, only behind Jordan so far throughout his career. So that's
Yeah.
But like as far as with winning a championship and you're going up against certain defensive matchups. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he's got to trust. He's got to find a way to, like Armani said, take smart shots, but also get his teammates more involved. And they've retooled. They're adding more pieces offensively. So I think that is a good
They got
sign,
more
and I would
shooters.
like to
Yeah.
see.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see what they do. I think the one thing that doesn't get taken into consideration, though, that I would say is slightly concerning is um, what do they do? What do they do when they're going up against a team like the Celtics? And people fail to take into consideration this, that neither and even though like he won Finals MVP, like neither Tatum or Brown really like exploded throughout the whole series. It was a very
It was
combined
spread
effort.
out. It was spread. Mm-hmm.
But what do they do when they play against like a team like the Celtics and those guys are on fire? And they got to go bucket for bucket with them, but also knowing that those two guys are going to play 100% on defense. How do they respond? How do they play on offense? And also how do they contain them?
Mm-hmm.
Can they play? Because I feel like ultimately, like they played the Celtics at like we were at like an 80, we're like an 85%. How do they play us at a fully 100%? We're locked in, hitting all of our shots. Because like we saw what happened in Game 5
Mm-hmm.
when they were hitting shots, and still Tatum didn't even have that great of a game. Jaylen Brown had a good game, but neither of them like.
Yeah.
But
They
how do
didn't play
they
like
play in
hero.
those
Mm-hmm.
explosive moments? And let's say Ant takes that next step. How you gotta compete with someone who can get a shot at any corner. So with Luka, with his play style and his body, he gets tired as well. That's something that I've always had issues with him as a player. So I feel like if coming into this year, I think he needs to continue to keep his body right as much as possible, because without him, that's the difference between a team being a top team in the West to a middling team.
Mm-hmm.
similar like Zion.
You know,
Luka stay in shape. That's pretty much it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's got to stay
You
in
gotta stay
shape
in shape and
because
you gotta be ready for the long haul. You gotta be ready for the long haul.
you got to be ready for the long haul. Yeah, because once he play against the teams that are very, like explosive with the talent, if they're playing at 100%, he has to be playing 100%.
Mm-hmm.
They're not winning if he
Balance.
doesn't.
Definitely. So we all got Mavs top 3 in the West.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got Mavs
They'll
top
be
3.
they'll be up there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got our final team, as we've been having a great in-depth conversation about the West, man. This has been awesome. Oklahoma
Yes, sir.
City Thunder, 57-25, first in the West last season. The real key moves I really want to talk about, they signed back-to-back all-defensive guard Alex Caruso, and they signed Hartenstein from the New York Knicks. Big pickups for the team that they needed. And they also signed guys like Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins back. I know they got rid of Josh Giddey. He's on the Bulls now. And they have some cap room as well. So I signed some free agents for next summer if they want. And I know they have a lot of valuable trade assets. They have a lot of draft picks, stuff like that. So they can do a lot. They have a lot of flexibility on this roster. Caruso is going to help them in the perimeter on the defense, makes them even more deeper defensively on the perimeter. You have him added with Lou Dort and J-Dubs, who are good defenders. Shai Gilgeous, he's no slouch defensively. This is a guy who led the league in steals last year. Like you have four perimeter defenders. Like even Chet could get out on the perimeter and move his feet. Like you have a legit defensive team. I know you can probably move Chet to the 4 for Hartenstein at the 5, which is good because Chet is skinny. He's going to get by down there against 5s in the NBA.
Yeah.
Hartenstein has more sturdiness to him. He's athletic. He's a lob threat. He's a great rebounder, rim protector. You add him with Chet and his elite rim protection, that's going to be hard for opposing offenses to have to score against that. They really got better, and it means in terms of, I say, their rebounding on the interior. defensively, and they got more size up front. Take some, burden off of Chet, because down low, especially early in his career, doesn't really have that muscle yet. Getting a Hartenstein was a big pickup for them. That's why I think the Knicks, to me, while they kind of took up a hit when we do the East, we're going to talk about that, because Hartenstein, I think, was a big part of why they were successful last season. So, yeah, Caruso and Hartenstein, big pickups for the Thunder. I think the Thunder, if I had to say my pick coming out the West, I'm going to say it's the Thunder, man.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's before we end the show. I'm still saying Thunder are my pick to come out the West.
Yeah, and I agree.
I'm not mad at it.
I agree with that too, because if you think about it, when they had Josh Giddey in that lineup at the 2-guard position, Josh Giddey was that player on that team that you looked at it every single time like, okay, this is the missing piece that is like crippling this team. Only because Josh Giddey needs the ball in order to be a facilitator and be an effective playmaker. He can't shoot as effective as Shea could, as Dort can, as Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, all them. Like, he just didn't naturally fit in that position. So I think it's a good win-win trade, only because Caruso, even from his Laker playing days, like he can knock down shots. He's going to run the lanes. He's going to finish. But his most valuable asset for that team is on the defensive end of the ball. He's going to be able to lock up and guard those competitive people in the Western Conference.
Like Kyrie.
And then you add Lou Dort in there too. Like, Lou Dort is a very physical, annoying defender, like as it is on that team. Another sleeper on that team. Obviously, we know SGA, top MVP candidate every year so far since him being there. Casey Wallace off the bench for that team. He's a really good piece on that team.
Just about to say.
Casey Wallace on defense, bro, and Casey Wallace, period. Like, he had a good rookie year last year, and I feel like a lot of responsibility is going to come with him being off the bench this coming year. Isaiah Joe is a really good shooter, very talented guy.
You can't forget the Kentucky brothers.
Yeah, you can't forget the Kentucky guys. I'll tell you, that's my team, bro. So I already know. So they got the depth. They got the depth to like really make a run. Aaron Wiggins is pretty good. I think Jalen Williams, going into this next year, he's going to even make a higher jump as well. Only because a lot of attention is going to be focused in on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander now that he's going to have the ball a lot more in his hands now that they're not getting on that lineup no more. I think it's going to allow for Williams to even have a bigger, more impact this year coming up for them. So it's going to be exciting. I got the Thunder coming out the West.
I'm going to call you Professor Armani with them glasses on. That was a great. Man, he's very articulate, man. Professor Armani.
No, you couldn't. Nah, man. Hey, Coach Armani, man. Coach Armani couldn't have broken it down any better. And I think the points about Casey Wallace and Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, I mean, the depth that the Thunder have is ridiculous. Now, I would like, as far as my dream final would be the Celtics versus the Thunder. I think the Nuggets just because of their experience, but I would not at all be upset if the Thunder make a run, because I do think that all the cylinders are clicking for them. I think they address their biggest concern of like, okay, who do we pair next to Chet? Because with his size, as you know, his body size, you need to have somebody who's a bit more beefy, a bit more compact. And I think, though it was a lot to get him there for that kind of money, I do think the impact and value that Hartenstein is going to bring is going to be very valuable for them. But I'm very high on Jalen Williams as well. And then, Jalen Williams on the perimeter, I don't know if we talked about him much, but I think he's one of the more underrated wing players in the league. And I think he's the forgotten member of the big three of Shea and Chet, but I think he's the real deal. But I think for the Thunder this year, for them to be that number one team, I think it really just comes down to their execution in the fourth quarter. They were a team that their youth would show up in the fourth quarter.
Series, it did.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah. Like, a couple of rebounds. That's why Hartenstein's a big pickup for them. That's why I think
it was just shutting the pain, but he was too small.
Possessions, those couple key
possessions.
And
Washington and Lively were too much.
So if they can get their fourth quarter stuff in control, I mean, we're not only just talking about a team that could very well come out the West, but they could win. They could win as well.
They can.
Obviously, who I'm going for.
Championship experience. He knows what it takes. Him.
You
And
got
that's
solid
and
veterans
it's
on that
always
team.
Going
They
for on
got
that
solid
team.
vets.
Yeah.
it's always valuable to have a veteran who has played
In big
and
playoff
won a
games
finals
or won a
game.
championship.
Mhm.
It's always very
I don't
important.
care
He
what
has
anybody
both of
says
those
because
experiences. Mm-hmm.
they know what it takes to get there.
Yep.
You know, and if they've been there multiple times, then they know what it takes to get back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the perfect role. To the point about Giddey, yeah, he definitely stuck out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm. And it showed.
You know,
It showed
because
every
his play
time.
style.
Yeah, can't
Yeah,
shoot, man.
I think like he's a good player. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
He's a
he's effective.
good point forward type of player.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, for a top 10 pick, you need someone who can be out there to complement your superstar, which I would argue that Shea is a superstar. I think
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
absolutely.
He's
no
a
question.
top.
he's
Top
just
five.
got
He's a
He's
superstar.
top
You're correct.
talent, bro.
Oh yeah.
He's nice, bro.
If he's not a
He's smooth.
superstar, then I don't
he's
know
got
who
the
is.
We all talk about Anthony Edwards. We all talk about Anthony Edwards and his uprising, but Shay's the total opposite. Like the quiet guy. I just want to hoop. I want to compete. I want to
He's
get. And,
slippery at the ball, man.
he's flashy in just how he is as a person. But besides like all that, like his game does the talking, bro. This man
It's all
literally,
ball with him.
he's always gonna
Herky
basically
jerky,
give you
man.
20.
Herky jerky.
Yeah,
This dude is
you're gonna get
slippery.
30 points out of him basically every game. Like it's
He's an
like
automatic.
you're on Prize Picks, bro. You want some money? Bet on Shay, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like you
Yo,
will
Oh,
look,
bet the over.
bro. You
yo,
will hit the over, bro.
Yep.
I'm telling
Bet
you,
that over.
I need
he's
to do
gonna
that
get his.
more this year. Shay? Yo, we might
And
have to
he's
do
a
some
Hell
bets in the
yeah.
chat, man. We might have to.
no, we do.
yeah, we
I'm
gonna
gonna sell
tell.
slip.
Always some
We
player
do.
that fails me,
We
bro.
can win quick
Always
cheese.
some player
I'm
that
gonna sell
We gonna tell.
Yeah.
We gonna do some. I'm gonna tell y'all with y'all bets.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, man.
Bro, let me ask one point. Between the Celtics and the Thunder, who's the most complete team? Because to me, the Thunder, they resolve all their holes that they're missing on that team. That's what I love about a team. Lakers, pay attention when you have a good front office that actually fixes the whole team to build a
No,
complete roster. That's what happens. You know, that's the result you can get. You can be a number one seed, be a champion. You know. Go ahead.
I think in the long run,
Sam Presti has done a great
yeah,
job.
he has.
Hell
He
yeah.
has done a
In the
phenomenal
long run, that team. In the long run, that team is literally set up for success for years to come. Like Boston, you got to think about Boston, and I'm not even trying to hate on Boston. Being a Lakers supporter and fan, like Boston has all the firepower and tools right now, but come down the road when it's time to pay up again, or when it comes to contracts, it's going to be really tight for them.
Yeah.
The thing Sam Presti, I will say about Sam Presti, and I really like him as the executive because he has the picks, he has the youth, and he has the talent. And that's literally three keys that is very hard to come by. But the stash of draft capital that team has, bro, like they're literally up on any team in the NBA. Like even if they succeed for all these years to come down the road, like they have draft capital, and that's better than anything. You could literally go make a trade right now for Brandon Ingram, for any player that you may want, just because they got all those picks, literally. So
they got all those guys.
They got reserve, and I think obviously right now, if you had to look at it, I think Boston may take them only because of like the Jaylen Brown. You got Jason Tatum, you got Drew Holiday. Like they got good pieces. Kristaps Porzingis is very skilled. Derek White, like you got your bench players.
Keep it going.
But it's just the fact down the road. I feel like if you're a team that's wanting to build and continue continuity wise, I feel like the Thunder is the team to be with.
Yes, sir. I got Thunder coming out the West, man.
I got coming
out the West. Oh, we all got Thunder?
Right now, Thunder.
Thunder?
I got the Nuggets. But if the Thunder, I would
don't
love
switch up,
for
bro.
the Thunder.
Uh-oh.
No. I would
You
love.
got one choice, bro. Is it the Thunder or not?
It's the Nuggets. No.
Oh, you got the Nuggets? Okay.
But I'm saying that I would love for the Nuggets to come out the West.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
I would be very happy to see them. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stick to it. But Shay, class of 17, baby. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You already know. I would love to see a class of 17 member win a title because look, Trey hasn't won yet. Luka hasn't won yet. We need somebody from our class to win. I'm tired of seeing everybody else get a ring except us. All right, we the last '90s baby class. We mean something.
Give it time.
We mean something. All right.
Give it time. Y'all still young, man. Y'all still young, bro. You gotta give it time.
We are. But man, you know, Tatum won last year, class of 16. 20. Luka's much. I mean, what's his name? Jokic is pushing 30, so
I don't. He might be in your class, Phil. Like, that's not even like me being
2013.
rude, but like I think.
Old ass. Yeah.
No, wait.
Low class, bro.
You say you damn near
No,
30, boy. You
Jokic
pushing
29.
30.
Jokic 29. Jokic
He got
29
gray
years
hairs or
old.
something.
Oh,
I was about to say. I think Jokic is the same age as
yeah,
Phil,
94 born.
but yeah, okay, yeah. So it's
Fine.
like, nah, we need somebody from '98 to represent.
Yeah.
We need somebody. That was Jordan's last like super elite year. So we need somebody from that year to go
Oh,
out
what?
there
You
and
said
get a ring.
99?
98.
Jason Tatum was
98, yeah.
98, bro.
You said
Tatum
what?
was born 98, bro.
No, Shea was born '98.
Tatum was born 98.
JT.
Oh yeah, but he's class of 16 though. I'm
He's
saying
talking
like
about
he's just
you're
like
talking about 20. Okay, I see what you mean. I
up class 17. Yeah.
I got you, babe.
Ja hasn't gotten it yet. Like no. I was hyped for Tatum. I was very hyped for Tatum, but he also didn't get the Finals MVP. You know what I'm saying? That went to JB, who was class of 15.
Yeah, we'll get into
I
that in
remember
the Eastern
watching
Conference. When we talk East, we're gonna talk about that. So
Eastern
yeah,
Conference gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
good.
got to.
Eastern Conference gonna be
Say the
good.
energy, bro.
But yeah, but all jokes aside, like when it comes down to basketball, I think Shea is a superstar. He just is in a small market, and he doesn't play the most aesthetically pleasing game to a casual. That's how I
for
phrase
real
it.
baller hoop lovers. Oh, I love.
But if you're a hoops fan,
Yeah.
you gotta love Shea and the way he plays. He
Fundamentally
is special.
sound, man. Fundamentally sound.
He is
Yeah, for
super
sure.
fundamentally sound. Like if I'm a player who's like a bigger guard coming
Clippers
up,
got heist.
that's who I would
got
try.
heisted, bro.
That's who I would try to frame my play style around.
Clippers. I know
You
them.
know,
And he's a student of the game. He's a student of the game too. Unlike
he is a student of the game, and that's what also
They're kicking
Like,
chairs. The Clippers are kicking chairs right now, man. If we had him right now at the Intuit Dome, man, we'd be selling tickets right now. If he was this on the Clippers, oh man.
Oh,
SGA was yeah, bro.
I was talking about that. I've been talking about that now for a minute. That trade is going to haunt them because it's like, yes, Paul George is a great player, future Hall of Famer. You know, I'm intrigued to see what Philly does this year, but we'll talk more about that in the Eastern Conference episode. But Shea showed his first year in the Clippers that he was him.
All that.
He was that dude, yeah.
And he had a great playoff. People forget about the playoffs in 2019 because
Against the Warriors, yeah.
They lost.
But he was balling.
Him and Lou Williams.
They took them to 7.
Man. Him and Lou Williams.
He took them to 7.
Lemon
They
Pepper
took them
Lou?
to 7.
Yeah, he was going
And
off.
yo,
Yeah.
Yo, you know that.
Oh yeah.
And that's-
they were
that's
balling.
sweet.
Hey, no, I've seen Lou outside. I've told y'all, I've seen Lou outside plenty of times. Cool guy, man. Got nothing but love for Lemon Pepper Lou. So it's like, yeah, Georgia legend. But Shea showed as a rookie that he could be that guy. And I still have the belief, you know, he's shown improved and exceeded my expectations. So I think this season for him, if they get the number 1 seed again and they're dominant, I think people are going to put a lot more respect on his name because I feel like his name doesn't get brought up. Like I think ultimately, pedigree wise and his impact, I think he's the best challenge to Jokic as the top player in the league. He puts it all together.
I'm not mad at that.
He got a complete game.
He has a complete
game. He has a complete game.
Yeah, he just got to win.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
He's got to win. Look, winning cures all. I didn't look at Giannis the same way I do now until he won a ring, and I didn't look at Jokic the same way until he won a ring. So if he wins a finals this year, I think that will cement him being the best player.
Shea's the biggest threat to Jokic, best player in the league.
I think so. As far as like right now, like
we talk East, bro. This is crazy. The honest disrespect.
No. Like Giannis
the other day, yo.
Yeah, he pissed. He is pissed. He got
Giannis
later.
Higher disrespect, man. People are sleeping.
Yeah.
Giannis is still
disrespected lately.
Giannis is still there. Obviously, you know, I'm gonna throw Tatum. I'm gonna still throw Tatum into that combo. But you know, and is moving his way up. But and obviously Luka. But as far as like players who could take that next step and win a finals as well, I think I think Shea has the best chance of them all, even more than Ant. So I put the Thunder at the number 2 seed only because like their youth of like not having gotten to that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not surprised at all if they finish with the 1 seed again, and if they make a finals run, and if they win. Like I'm not shocked at all, and I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at it at all.
No, that's true. This has been a great conversation, deep, in-depth stuff about the Western Conference. How we feeling, fellas? Feeling good after all? I know it's been a long podcast. This is longer than I thought, but this was a great.
Hey, we were talking ball.
Hell yeah,
we were really breaking the game down.
Hell yeah, I love to see it, bro.
Everybody came through with some great analysis. So no, it's always a blast and a pleasure.
Oh yeah, Armani, are you still there? Because I know you got cut off a little bit.
Yeah, brother Armani, Coach Jackson.
I don't know what happened to
my Capricorn twin, man. What's going on, gang?
Yeah, I think he got a little cut off.
Yeah.
All right, so before we get off, let the people know where they can find your work, guys.
Man, check me out. Wilson Way Sports Network just dropped an article on my newsletter, Wilson Way Sports Newsletter. Big time article covered of Sam Darnold, his reemergence as a player in this league, a big time quarterback. Actually had a big game today. Got another win. They're 4-0 Vikings. Are very impressive. But yeah, check me out. Got new podcast content coming out. Obviously, NBA season coming out soon, so check me out.
What about you?
Yeah, salute to you, Phil. Always with those amazing articles and content. Of course, and you as well, DJ. You know, one of the hardest working man over here.
Yeah, dog.
You can find me at Chilling with Dylan 1229. You know, page has been through a bit of a my social media page has been through a bit of a crisis of sort, given my main page being hacked. But you can follow me there. I got some sports stuff there. You can also follow me at DB. Let me get the proper. You can follow me with my company profile, DB_WTH10, which stands for We the Hobby. That's the company I work for.
Oh yeah.
You could check me out there on. You can check me out on the Whatnot app. You can check me on the Fanatics app. Getting takes off. You know what I'm saying, and ripping cards and the whole nine. And then check me out on Mr. Hamilton's website one of these days. I'm gonna get the pen work.
Yeah, he's stepping out of his retirement and joining the sports.
I'm stepping out of my retirement, baby.
Bro.
Around the corner, man. He said, "I'm writing some NBA blogs for you, DJ." I'm like, "All right,
yes, sir."
The chat needs it, bro.
Time to get back in my writing bag. So, you know, check me out there. Also, Beige Brothers Sports Podcast. So I've got multiple things you can look me out for. But yeah, you know, it's always a pleasure to be on anything that you're doing, DJ. And you know, I'm always in your corner, my brother. You already know.
And Armani, where you tell people where to find your work. I know you got a newsletter on LinkedIn.
Yeah, this is probably my newsletter on LinkedIn. I'll be sure to share it in the video. DJ, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to be on your video today, bro. I was really excited to be able to talk with you, Phil and Dylan. And more articles to come. Also on DJ's sports show as well. Primarily looking to wait for basketball season to come back up to start writing some more. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Yo, it's been a pleasure, my brothers. I brought all of us together just like I did in the group chat, and I did it here again. You know,
it's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it.
We just need to get Matt on. We just need to get Matt.
I'm gonna connect. That's what we franchise. We bring the glues together, man. We bring the pieces together. Build a championship rock.
Hey, look.
It's what we do.
It's the Fantastic Four, but we need to get Matt on one of these next.
Oh yeah,
Party of Five.
Definitely.
Then we can Fab Five after that.
Yeah, Fab Five. Another ESPN documentary.
Yes, sir. Baggy shorts.
ESPN.
I ain't shaving my hair bald though. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I gotta keep the spinners. I gotta keep the spinners, man.
Pleasure having you guys on, and we'll see you guys next time for the Eastern Conference. Peace out, my brothers.
Yes, sir. We talk about my Celtics.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Peace out,
Have a blessed Sunday, y'all.
So see y'all.